5A, which is a public works request for, it's a 54-inch drum roller for paving. And also 5B, I've got the Dade County Sheriff's Office and Jails requested a 52-inch deck riding lawnmower. And so I'm going to ask Chad Payne shortly to come up under that. And then also 7B, which is, we provided this to you the other night or day sometime this week. But there's nothing that's changed. I think y'all have had this drawing of the Trenton Dade Animal Center drawing. And at that time, I'll ask the mayor, Alex Case as mayor, to come up, and also Bob to bring that up.
Sure will.
And that's the drawing for the proposed animal control, I'm sorry, the Trenton Dade Animal Center. It's been named a lot of things, but that's what we got it called today. All right. Are there any other changes or amendments to the agenda as presented? Okay, hearing none, we'll add that to the consent agenda as amended. Approval of previous meeting minutes. Boy, have we had them. Dade County, let's see, we have a Board of Commissioners special call meeting on August 27th, special call meeting on August 28th, TDAC committee work sessions on 8/19 and August 5th. Also, the Board of Commissioners regular monthly meeting on August 7th, as well as the Commissioners workshop meeting from August the 7th. Are there any corrections or additions to those minutes? Hearing none, we'll add that to the consent agenda.
Yep.
Number 3 is the personnel, a review of the personnel status report. I don't believe there's any major changes, but I did want to provide you a copy of this. I don't know if you saw it or not. I wrote a phone number on there. There you go. Pass that down. This is from, we had a resignation, and I just wanted to make y'all aware of it. This is from Mr. Roy Morgan. Roy served, and Billy's here. Billy could talk more about Roy than anybody. He served faithfully years, many years down at the transfer station. And so I just wanted to recognize him for the many years of service he's given. But he worked on Saturdays for many, like I said, many years. And just wanted to say thank you to him publicly and for those years of service. And Billy, you want to say anything? I mean,
he was a great man. He worked with me at the road department for years. He went to the transfer station and he worked on Saturday before he got cussed out daily.
Yeah.
Citizens, and he finally just had enough the way people treat him.
Yeah. So just wanted y'all to have that. It's a letter. It was his letter of resignation, but he
very, very good
retired.
man.
Yep. So we'll be trying to find a replacement there. That's going to be difficult, but if you're interested, get with Billy and file an application. You can do that online, I guess, as well. Moving a few people around down there, so just be aware there will be an opening there at the transfer station. So if you have any interest, just fill out an application either online or get it directly to Billy, or you can drop it off at our office through Human Resources. Any questions or about the personnel status report? Hearing none, we'll add that to the consent agenda for approval. Under board minutes, proclamations, that's tab number 4 here. We have Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. That is the month of September, so be aware of that. Childhood Cancer Awareness Month that Dade County does recognize. We also have the Library Card Sign-Up Month proclamation. So if you haven't had a chance to do that, Dade County Public Library has 8,890 active library cards. So anybody between ages 1 and 120 are welcome to come and get a library card. So you get a chance to do that.
And the other thing everybody has to keep in mind is that I've been using it a lot lately. You can go online and get books from the public library, right? You know, and I do it routinely, right? In fact, I just finished up another one, you know, I was looking for another one. So if you get a card, right, and you're not able to go to the library, that doesn't mean you don't have access to all the books. And, you know, it says how many books they have, and you can put a hold on it, meaning when it comes available, they'll let you know. It's just a great little system, so you need to check it out.
Right.
The library does a lot of good things for us.
They're a great resource for our community. If you need copies or anything like that, they'll help you out there as well. Also, proclamation for Adult Education and Literacy Week in September. And so that is September 15th through the 19th. So remember that in Dade County, Literacy Week here in Dade County, recognizing that. We have also for the month, Service Dog Month. That is a new proclamation we've got this year. 1 in 4 adults have a disability that impairs their day-to-day activities, and so we wanted to recognize September is Service Dog Month, like many other counties and cities in the nation. And also, it's National Recovery Month. And this is for the Georgia Recovers in Communities. The 2025 Georgia Recovery Bus, I believe, will be here this coming week. And so just wanted to recognize them for their efforts. This will be over at the Hand Up Ministry, I believe, coming up this coming week. So there'll be more information about that online. And again, that's we're recognizing that though for the entire month. Any questions on any of those proclamations?
No questions, but on the service dog thing, when my son was shot in Afghanistan, and after he came back and went through all the hospitalization, all that, he had a service dog, and that it was very helpful. No doubt about it.
Okay. We also have under board appointments, Resolution R-36-25. It's appointment of Mr. Philip York to the Dade County Public Library. That's due to a vacancy that exists due to the resignation of Mr. Steve Forster, effective June 30th, 2025. If you recall, Mr. Forster was elected to the school board, so he didn't want any kind of conflict of interest, and that sounds a lot like Steve, so he chose to resign and created a vacancy, and so that is Philip York for the unexpired term commencing technically July 1st through June 30th, 2028. Any questions on that appointment? Hearing none, we'll add that to the consent agenda for approval. Number 5, Billy, if you would please come on up. He had a situation this week. He's been paving roads. Give us an update on paving, but then also tell us your need here for the 54-inch drum.
So far this year, we started paving. We've got Hicks Holler.
If you'll speak into the mic, it'll help everyone online. I know.
From Hicks Holler, from the Interstate Bridge in, Dave Brown Road has been completed. We did not complete under the bridge and out because they're jacking the bridges up. They twisting the equipment around, tearing the pavement up. So we gotta go back to that. We have finished Wells Road, Cloud Road, and we started Wall Circle. During this time while we've been paving, we've been having issues with the roller. Give you a little history. August 2012, bought a roller, a used roller that had 2,000 something hours on it. We give $7,000 for it back. Was that what it was, Rebecca? $7,000 in 2012. We used it for 13 years. We've got over 6,000 hours on the machine. This is breaking, that's a breaking. And we likely lost several $1,000s worth of asphalt. It broke down. We couldn't find a roller. We was able to rent one, and we've had to pay $750. It was too small for what we need, but it would work then. But having said that, let me back up a minute. Philip, I think you came down some while back and looked at equipment. I think your remark was, wow, he don't be spending some money later on this equipment. I don't believe in buying nothing till it's used up, and we've used this up. But having said that, We've done a lot of research. I talked with Tally. Tally is the world's largest asphalt company. Robert Taylor, I've known him for years, asking him on what would be the best. And he recommended Dynapack, which anybody in construction is familiar. We went through Sourcewell, and with the trade, they offered $8,000 for this paper we bought 13 years ago for $7,000. But having said that, I think it's 61,000 some odd dollars, and that should last 20 plus years if we need it. I mean,
So what's the
I
feeling?
never asked for something that wasn't needed. I should have asked for stuff before it's needed, but I believe in getting life out of whatever. I treat taxpayer money like mine. And that's what I'm here asking for the road to continue on.
And
I
so,
have looked, I'm sorry, I've looked by renting the size we need. There's none available that United Rental, Stowers, Yancey, Reynolds, they can't find none. There's some on up past Knoxville. Yeah, we can rent them, but we don't have to pay to bring them in. And if we rent it for finish out, we'll have several $1,000s in rent. We'll have a sixth of the roller done paid for.
Yeah.
I just asking the roller to finish their job. If we pave ourselves, it's average between $100 to maybe $120 a mile. If we contract it out, it's $200 to $220,000 a mile. Saving a lot of money doing it by ourselves. Yeah, I wish we hired somebody else, I wouldn't have to fool with it, but that's a saving to the taxpayer.
okay. Questions?
I have a comment. I think that Billy has routinely come in here, right, and laid out very well on all the pieces of equipment he asked for, right? He'll bring in an equivalent of a Model T truck that he's had forever and a day, right? Right? And he's run the daylights out of them, so he's not someone who comes in here routinely just asking for new stuff because he thinks 3 years and 4 years and 5 years is up. I think that Mr. Massengill's recommendations are solid, right? Because he takes care of our equipment, right? And I think this is one of the ones that fall into that category.
He also fixes the equipment and
Yep.
makes sure that it's kept up well so that he'll have it to keep on going.
You promised to stay for 20 years to make sure it keeps running.
I'm not saying 20 years.
Philip?
I don't have no problem with it.
Okay. Sounds good. We will add that to consent agenda for approval. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Massengill. Chad, I guess, if that, or Tommy, or whoever y'all want to. Okay. Chad Payne with the Sheriff's Office. What this is about, he can explain a little bit more about it. They've been using some of their personal equipment to cut county grass, and we've been very fortunate to have the trustees' labor for years to cut the grass around our park here, also around the courthouse, and really the public defender's office. Anywhere there's public property, they've been coming down and cutting that for us for many years, and that saves a lot on contract labor. Go ahead, Chad.
Well, many of you, if any of you all or anybody has been down to the transfer station, you've seen those guys. They are inmate workers, even though they are in jail. They are attempting to repay their debt to society. They work hard. They're constantly down there working. And they don't complain much, even about the situation with the lawnmower, they don't complain much. But I'll explain a little bit about that. So back several years ago, when we were utilizing the Trenton City firing range, we had an agreement with the city of Trenton that we would use their lawnmower to cut a lot of county property as well as the range. And the agreement was that we would share the cost of maintaining the thing. It was a very reasonable agreement. We utilized it to cut not just the range, but a lot of property around the city and outside the city. And after Tommy got ran over, one of the chief deputies after him that was filling in for him essentially, I was told, nuke that deal over some issue with not wanting to pay for any repair on something. And the city said, okay, well, if you're not going to pay for anything, they took their mower back. So at that moment, Lieutenant Broom was over the inmates at the jail, and he said, well, there's so much to mow. So he went and got his personal mower, which was a zero turn. He went and got his personal mower, and he was mowing a lot of county property with his personal mower. You know, the agreement we had with him is that if he used it, that the sheriff's office would pay for the maintenance on the mower, and we had it all done at the hardware. But he was using his personal mower to mow a lot of county property. Lieutenant Broom doesn't work with us anymore, so now we have Buddy Waters back. I don't know if any of y'all know Buddy Waters or not, but he was worked with the inmates for quite some time. He's going to be the person that's going to be over the mower per se, as well as the inmate workers. So now, because we do not have that mower, you've probably seen that a lot of the county property out here is kind of suffering. If you look behind at the little creek walk back here behind the courthouse, it's that tall. And the reason is because we have 2 push mowers. And those guys are having to weed eat and push mow everything, including the training center, the depot. Today, somebody asked us, hey, the depot has grown up. Can somebody go down there and do something about it? So Buddy took the guys down and they weed eated most of it. Because we have 2 mowers, but one of them's in the shop, and they're just push mowers is all they are. So Tommy and I went, both of us, I know this is my first time being up here in front of y'all asking, but if anybody knows anything about me, I do not like to ask for things, especially when it comes to spending money of the taxpayers. But the cost compared to us asking for a lawnmower as opposed to paying somebody to go out and mow all this property, there's no comparison. Yeah. And we went around and looked, and we talked to Taz, which was a place across the mountain over Flintstone, got the best price from them. They also gave us a governmental price on the Toro that we found. We weren't looking for anything fancy. We're not trying to get something that's just a diesel or anything like that, even though we could probably use that because of the terrain. We're mowing at the training center and back here behind at the creek walk. But we're just asking for something that will accommodate what we need and also do the job, but also last, which is probably the cheapest commercial mower that we could find that has a good reputation and a good warranty along with it. So that is why we are coming and asking for a mower. It's just, it's a need. It's not a want by any means. It's a need to keep our community looking pretty. And we have the labor to do it. We just got to have the tools to do it with.
Okay, so what is your recommendation from these 3 bids here?
Do
you have a
Toro,
copy?
No, I don't. I gave you.
Okay.
All right. So, the 2 that we looked at, one was a residential mower, and I found out while we were there that Tommy Bradford, our major, he opted for the residential model that's very similar to this, and he has already went through a couple of transmission, or at least one transmission, and if they have 2, because it's not made for cutting a lot of area. So we talked to him, told him what we had, what we would need it for, and they recommended, like I said, the cheapest commercial that they had, and that one, as opposed to the residential one, has the commercial Toro motor, the commercial serviceable transmission, a roll bar. That way, most of the time the inmates are not going to be on this thing. I'm not going to say that there's not ever going to be a time that they're going to be on it. Generally, it will be Lieutenant Waters that's on the thing because, it just is what it is, and it's a piece of equipment that we want to make sure is taken care of. But the one that we're asking for is the 2000 Series 52 TF2 deck. Like I said, it's got a 7-gauge deck it'll take a beating. It's fabricated, it's not stamped. As opposed to the residential model. We got both of them, whatever y'all need to do, but the commercial one is going to be the one that's going to last us and going to be something that we can hang on to for a long time. That one is $7,461. The sticker price on that was quite a bit more, but because of the governmental price and the governmental bid, it brought it down to $7,400. I think the sticker price was
$10,861.
correct. And we also went on Labor Day weekend trying to find the best deal, because that's what we wanted to do, and we did. We found the best deal that we could find for what we needed.
This one does have a roll bar.
It does.
That's a little
Yeah, it does.
safer.
Yeah.
It does.
Okay.
Yeah, well, we discussed it, so I'm ahead of Tom, so I'm well informed and agree that commercial would be the better route.
I concur with that as well.
So what areas do y'all mow, keep up?
Well, the training center, all around the firing range and the training center itself.
How many, how big is that?
How many acres would you say that is?
Probably
that's
pushing
drained?
2 now, probably, ain't you?
Do I?
Probably 2 acres over now, ain't you?
Oh, yeah, at least 2 acres, I would say. What do you think? Yeah, Billy Bushog's the top of it. Well, the warranty, Tommy, what was the 5-year warranty on it? Yeah, it was either 3 or 5. I want to say it was 5, but he didn't write that on there for some reason, but I believe it was 5. Grasshopper? I don't-
And y'all do, this park area out here.
Yes, correct. Yeah, okay, sorry, I'll get back with you on that in a second. We do all of this area out here, around the sheriff's office, around the gazebo, all of this around this entire commission building, as well as, which we haven't been doing because we don't have the equipment to do it with, all this area down here. The city was supposed to be, had agreed, even though it's county property, to mow that back there for beautification reasons, I'm assuming, and they just hadn't had time to do it. So, and it's our responsibility, we're supposed to be doing it, they were just gonna do it, and they come back and said, hey, please, is there any way y'all can do this again, because it's this high. So, that, the depot now, we mowed it today, and we're gonna continue mowing that. Daniel, what else? Yeah, and around all the courthouse area.
Yeah.
Or is, Chad, are you looking at a mid-mount or a front mount?
I don't know what that is. Tommy, what's a mid-mount? I don't know what that means, Billy. What is a mid-mount?
Mid-mount, you ride over your deck, front mount, sticks out front.
Yeah, it's a mid-mount then. You said over top of the deck.
Any other questions? How good with the $7,461 one, is that? All
Yeah,
right.
we concur with that.
All right, we will do that with TAS equipment, the 2000 series 52-inch deck. Okay, $7,461. Thank you, Chad.
The ones we did price were Bobcat, Toro, and what was the other one in there, Tommy? Bobcat, Toro, and whatever that other one was.
Paula Duval, Chief Appraiser.
Hey, thank you, Tommy.
Thank you.
Darn,
Jay.
was you moving code enforcement up?
Oh, I'm sorry, Paula, can you wait just a second? You are correct. Code enforcement, building code enforcement policy and procedures, Commissioner Bob Woods and Commissioner Philip Hartline.
The concern that some of us had about this is that we wind Stacy up and we send him out, right? And honestly, he's our code enforcement, right? He does code enforcement for us. And it's a battlefield, right? It's a very difficult thing. So the thing that we were just wanted to reiterate, right, to everyone, all right, and to establish within us of how we're using him is right now, we've got to go back in time to when you had your meeting here a while back, right? And you told everyone, and this is difficult because code enforcement has not been happening around here forever, to be totally frank about it. Because when you talk to people that build in and around Dade County, right? Well, hey, my granddaddy didn't have to do with it, my dad didn't have to do it, I'm not gonna have to do with it, et cetera, et cetera. So code enforcement is not something that people love to have or do. But the county leadership said that it's gonna start, right? So you gotta get your act together, right, between now and January. And the other part is that a lot of what Stacy does has to do with electricity. And I've had a lot of conversations with him. And here's the deal. The intent is never, ever, ever for someone in a viable home not to have electricity where they need heating or air conditioning or something like that. The problems routinely is when someone's building a new facility, right? And when they want to bring full power in. So the dynamic there is that we've established now that you can have the initial power pole there to get some initial things going. And then the next phase, I think we're calling it moderate, right, Don?
I think is that,
Is Stacy here?
I'm not sure.
Yeah. Stacy, are you here?
Come on up, Stacy.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, didn't we say, Stacy, you recommended moderate the other day for the interim stage?
Yes, building new houses, they get temporary power.
Yes.
And
Talk into the microphone. so.
when people are building new houses, they get temporary power. If you're building a house, it's very hot, or if it's very cold, you need
power when you're putting your hardwood flooring, when you're painting, when you're sheetrock painting, or anything. Hamilton County, Walker County, a lot of them have that middle step. Okay. We do not have that middle step. I shared some photographs with Commissioner Woods, I think Commissioner Hartline and Mr. Towns and everybody, where people are wanting power even before they get decking on their house, because it's taking so long to get it. Georgia Power runs right now around 4 weeks behind. At one point, they were 6 to 8 weeks behind. But if they don't have that power, they can't acclimate the house or any structure so that their hardwood flooring doesn't buck or the paint and caulking stays on the wall. That is one of the issues that we've been having. So if we add the moderate power in the middle, there would be 3 steps: your temporary power, your moderate, and then you can go to your permanent power. Because the state of Georgia, it is illegal for you to have permanent power before your septic goes in.
And the other thing that comes up every now and then is that all the wiring in your home has to be looked at before you put sheetrock up, right?
Yes,
You know, because if that happens, you just spend a lot of time, effort, and energy putting sheetrock up, and no one's taking a look to see how the wiring, if it's properly laid out, et cetera, et cetera.
yes.
So you run into that as well.
Yes, sir. They're wanting power as soon as they can get it on the books for Georgia Power. If we let them have the moderate power, they don't have to have everything finished on the inside, and which Dawn and I have looked at. When you do the final on a house, a lot of banks are requiring paperwork that we have never required before, or never been able to give them before. So that's just part of the process.
Bankers and real estate agents, both.
Yes.
So, for me on this is, the intermediate part on the electrical is, the health department wants the septic tank fill lines put in before you do the permanent power. Well, as a person that installs that, I don't want to put it in until you get all your heavy equipment off the job site, because if you crush my fill lines, I've got to warranty my work.
Right.
So if you put it in prior to the outside being done, especially if you're bricking a home or something, you have issues with that, collapsing tanks or whatever. The other thing is, on this whole process, we as a commission need to think about, what all are we going to enforce? If we're going to do this, it needs to be across the board with everybody. Are we enforcing hours? Are we enforcing everything that the state has on the books that says we're supposed to do? Because right now, you're supposed to be a licensed electrician, a plumber, heating and air guy. We don't enforce that in the county, so January the 1st, when we start this process, we need to decide on what we're going to do.
Right. Well, we all took an oath of office that said we would uphold the laws of the state of Georgia, the laws, the U.S. Constitution, the Georgia Constitution, and local ordinances. So that's the dilemma. That is the dilemma.
The hard part
Good question.
The hard part is on the licensing, as far as that goes. If you call the state, Secretary of State, which is the ones that says we're supposed to be licensed, they say we don't enforce that.
Okay.
Call your sheriff. You call the sheriff, and the sheriff don't want to touch it because of what it is. It's not. So there's things we got 5 months, there's things we need to discuss and talk about to get this in order before we really.
Right. And ask Doug McBriar. Doug, would you come up to this with Stacy? Doug has been an electrician. Well, I'll just let Doug tell us who he is. How long you been an electrician and worked in Dade County?
Since 1979.
79. All right. And are you a certified?
Licensed electrical contractor, yes, sir.
What is your opinion of electrical, following the guidelines of the National Electric Code, which is in our ordinances? Just give me a brief.
First page of the National Electric Code says the code is the minimum requirement. Dade County has less than a minimum requirement. They have none. There's one county, I think it's Chattooga, that does not require inspections. But before Georgia Power will hook their power up, the customer has to sign a form in lieu of taking Georgia Power completely out of it. Rodney has seen a lot of things where we go in and open a panel box, go in an attic, crawl under a house, even new construction, where work is piecemealed, hoping for the best. Circuits are ran, wiring too small for the breakers. That may not sound like much, but when that wire gets so hot, a 12-gauge wire cannot trip a 30-amp breaker. That's for a 10-gauge wire. If the homeowner's lucky, they catch it and call an electrician. Somebody come check this. If they're not lucky, then Rodney and the fire department go to their house while it's burning.
Right.
I back 100% having to be licensed.
And we invited local contractors to come here and, I don't know, was it February-ish?
Started in February.
Yeah, January, February. And told them that, look, we hope by this coming January, almost a year in advance, that we would try our best to just have, minimal code enforcement. We only have one code enforcement, and we that's dealing with a lot, all right? When you start talking about HVAC, plumbing, electrical, that's a lot. And so one person can only do so much. I'm not pushing to hire anybody new or making it more difficult. I'm just trying to enforce what's on our current books, our current ordinances.
Can I say something on that?
Yeah, sure.
No offense to Stacy. He's not gonna be here forever. In my opinion, now is a good time to hire somebody younger, that can go to school and learn what the code requires, so that when Stacy does step down, somebody's gonna know what's going on
Yeah.
without coming in and never touched a piece of wire, plumbed a house, did central heat and air, framing. I know there's a lot in the county that doesn't want code enforcements, don't want to have to be licensed. They say, I've done this my whole life. I can wire this house. If you can wire the house, go get your license. It's a minimalist thing to do. Excuse me. Not saying nothing bad about Don. Melissa, would you hire Don to build you a new house?
Well,
For
kinda
Don to do
depends.
the construction?
I wouldn't.
For him to do the construction?
I'm a Bradford, so I don't know.
I hear that.
I would hire him.
Let's not bring that up.
You don't want to go over to my house.
That's it.
I'd probably hire anybody at the table other than me.
We were having a serious conversation until about 30 seconds ago.
Nothing personal to Don, but I don't think Philip would hire Don, sub it out to him because Philip couldn't get to the house. That's what we have.
Yeah. And so what
That's
happened?
what we have out in the county now. People saying, I can do it. I have done this before. Get your license and show it. It's not that hard.
Yeah. And when we had the 30 or so contractors that were here, how many in the room were opposed to it? None. Because they all do it by the book. And by the,
I invited over 55, close to 60 people.
right,
There was only about 30 that showed up.
right.
So some of them said, well, I don't need to show up because I'm gonna do it the way I want to. That was their mentality.
And the goal is for houses just not to burn to the ground. I mean, we don't want to get in people's business. I don't. But if we don't want if we don't want the codes on our books, then repeal the ordinance and do away with it. But when people's houses start burning and they start coming to us, why don't you have code enforcement? I'm going to start pointing fingers back at everybody else because I'm for it. I don't want more. We haven't added any more codes. I'm not proposing that we add any more codes.
There's a lot of rumor out there that we've added a lot of things.
We haven't added
have not.
anything.
Yeah, well, I think the problem too is that there are state laws for that. So people are looking at that, but then they look at our ordinance and there's not anything there. And then there is the law that they want the health department to check off on it, and, you know, so it's all kind of, and we don't have a platform of this yet, so it's all very confusing, and I get a lot of calls about it myself.
Melissa, there's a house on Lookout Mountain on Nick and Jack. The park's on that house. Very nice home. They had an electrician came in, wired the entire kitchen on 14 gauge wire. I don't think you know what that means. If you do, God bless you. But they can use one appliance. They use 2 breaker trims. Code says use 20 ohm breakers, 12 gauge wire. It's too late. That house is finished.
Yeah,
And that's, I run into that everywhere. And when they call me and I go out and tell them that the house would have to be rewired to bring it up to code for them not to have that issue, I just built this house. I can't do nothing about that. And most of the time, they don't do anything about it.
well, they can't, you can't afford it. I understand that,
I'll agree they can't afford it. I'll agree they can't afford for the house to burn
yeah,
and a child get hurt
yeah.
or grandparent. Let's go great-grandparent. I'm a grandparent.
The other part of this is soil sedimentation control. Stephen Bontico is back there. Stephen, would you come up to the microphone? And why do we have soil sedimentation control in Georgia?
Because the state of Georgia says we will.
Okay, and why did they do that?
So, I mean, if we trace it all the way back to the Dust Bowl, that's where the majority of our sediment erosion control comes from, right? Hugh Hammond Bennett, the first conservation districts in the nation were in, technically, the first one was right here. We're standing in it, but out of courtesy to the, director of the Soil Conservation Service's home district, they did not charter for a month, and they let the North Carolina district become first. So we were in the leading, cutting edge of, but you look at erosion issues around the state, Little Grand Canyon, it wasn't always a ditch. So, those laws are in place in order to protect people from the effects of sedimentation. So we've got rules around, we've got national rules around filling in a wetland. Well, why can't I fill in that swamp? Well, because that swamp provides what they call ecosystem services. You got water that runs off the side of the mountain, where does it go? It's either gonna pick up steam and take dirt with it, and take your house with it and wash things away, or it's gonna soak in and spread out across the floodplain. You fill the floodplain in, you fill that swamp in, swamps act as sponges, they act as filtration, they clean the water, you start filling those things in, and then you have situations to where you have faster water and more water in places where you don't want it. And so those laws have been put in nationally as well as on a state basis in order to protect the citizenry from stupid development. And when we don't enforce those laws, we're opening ourselves up to things like what happened with Helene. Yeah, that was a major event due to a major, but it also, when you have construction that happens in locations where you know you're in the floodway, or you know you're building without the proper measures, the more dirt you move, the more likely it is to be in the wrong spot. So, we have those laws because the state of Georgia went before us and said, hey, bad things have been happening to good people because their neighbor infringed upon their liberties. Many of you have heard me say, so long as your liberties don't infringe on my freedoms, we're fine. But when we share resources, water, air, and if the dirt's moving, we're sharing it. So when we share those resources, we have to be conscientious of our neighbor. And if we can't be conscientious of our neighbor, we have legislation. Well, that's where we are. We have legislation because neighbors couldn't get along, or they did stupid things that they didn't understand because they didn't understand code or they didn't understand proper best management. And so the long-winded answer is, because somebody did something stupid in the past, we have laws today that are guiding our future.
A lot of people.
But enough people did enough stupid things that they said, we need to codify this.
Yeah.
The same reason why we have Georgia Safe Dams, enough kids died at Toccoa that the legislature said, you know, we should think about how we build dams. Ponds might need a little bit of oversight so that fewer college kids get drowned. You know, I'm not making light of the situation that happened at Toccoa, but it's a sad event that happened because somebody built a dam out of dirt they shouldn't have in a place they shouldn't have. And now, when somebody goes to building a pond, Stacy gets called because somebody goes, hey, should they be building a pond there? And Stacy calls me and says, hey, can they build a pond there? And we start looking at the National Hydrologic Data Set, the Army Corps of Engineers gets involved, the state of Georgia gets involved. There's a process that hasn't been happening in Dade County for things like that, for things like sediment and erosion control, across the board, because either enough people died or enough people did stupid things that we had to codify a process.
And so all I'm trying to do is be consistent.
That's what I'm talking about. I mean, we've got 4 months till we try to start doing this
Flat out.
flat out. Policy, procedure, what's the rules, and they need to be across the board, period.
And the other thing about it is that, you know, our cost for a permit, right, is ridiculously low. I mean, when you look at comparison to other
Yes.
counties. So
That-
we've kept it down very low compared to other counties, so everybody should be able to come here and get it.
City of Trenton, $85 for the electrical permit. Too low. Dade County, $35, 200 amp, way too low. By the time Stacy makes 1 or 2 trips out to a house, you're in the hole when he goes the first time, much less 2 times or 3 times. Walker County, my average electrical permit is around 175. I know finances mean, but to have the safety protection and the surety, a job's done right, it doesn't come free. Our rates are way too low. Even if I was the one building a house for me.
Yeah, I'm just saying that
It
folks
needs
need
to
to
be-
come here, right? Get the approval, right? You know what I mean? To go forth on things, right? And right now, you know, and we're not before everybody beats us up, we're not sitting here making a recommendation, we need to raise the cost, not at all. I'm just saying that the cost here in Dade County is very inexpensive compared to other places, so get down here and get the right paperwork, and then you can start moving out on things.
You might not be able to make the recommendation, but I'll say it needs to happen. It does.
Yeah.
I understand,
And
I've not been elected, brother.
I know.
And why do we charge a permit fee? Well, when you're coming in as a person getting the permit, that's on me. It's not fair to all the taxpayers to supplement me to get a permit. I'm the one getting the permit, I should be paying the fee. You see what I'm saying? Meaning, if I don't pay enough, guess who? Guess who's paying the rest of Stacy's salary or Stephen's salary or any? It's all the taxpayers. That's why we have a permit fee that's high enough, not to get rich off of it, but just to break even. If they have to go out 2 or 3 times to inspect something, hopefully it covers it.
And that goes across the board, not that we're getting on that subject, but with animal control. That's what those costs are for, is to supplement other things that we have to pay for.
All right,
But the thing, we wanted to bring this up, just to, again, get all of our heads back in the game, right? That, you know, come 1 January, right, the switch gets clicked, right? And that kind of thing, and then also to figure out then how to best utilize, you know, the staff we have, right? And what he's gonna be doing.
Do we have our forms in place? Do we know our fees?
Right.
What's the process? If someone that doesn't do it, are we shutting them down? Is there a fine for that? How, that's the things I'm talking about, because some stuff's happened here lately, I've been getting phone calls on, and we really don't have no policy or
Policy,
procedure
yeah.
for that. We've not started, but they felt like they were being
Harassed.
harassed.
Yep.
When we was really trying to say, hey, this is coming. If if you've got a blue card, you know BMPs anyway,
Right,
everybody. And no, we don't follow through with them here in this county.
yeah.
All right, so anyway, so we've got to do some more work ourselves, right?
Okay.
Before 1 January comes around. That's why we brought it up.
But as of this point, are we still doing what we do?
Yes.
I mean, because we
All
don't,
right, so let me ask this, what are we doing right now?
what are we, Stacy, what are we doing right now?
Right now, basically, we're doing the temporary power and the permanent power,
Right,
until everyone on this board says that we can do the intermediate, but then we have to involve the health department. They have to be on board with it,
yeah, they do.
which I have worked out an agreement, I think 2 or 3 people have used. If you're a good contractor, they'll let you have power before. We have not called it intermediate, but we didn't have a final at that time. But there's a lot of things we've got to work out.
Yeah, but you can't go on if somebody's a good contractor.
I don't
mean,
like
that
the
just
word
don't
good.
work.
But,
We just have to be
and
consistent.
even
It has to go
on your,
across the
on our
board.
notice of intent, we did start that. If you disturb more than an acre in the state of Georgia, you're supposed to file a notice of intent, and you have to do a land disturbance if it's more than an acre. That is a Georgia state law. So,
And that's been on the books how long?
since,
Well,
Whose books? The state's books or
our books.
Okay.
2011
think
is
the
when we have
ordinance is
passed the soil sedimentation
20
control.
I think it's 2009, I think.
Well, I think the 9, and then we amended it for pollution in 11.
Yes. As far as the building codes, Melissa, it's been on the books since 1973. That's
building codes?
Yes,
the
We
building
have
code.
building codes?
we sure do.
Since
Since
1973.
1973.
1973.
But we were just talking, they weren't enforced though.
Right.
I mean, that's
They've
the-
never been enforced, never.
Yeah.
But if you look at the ordinance, at the end of the ordinance, it'll say 0826 whatever 73. The 73 is 1973.
All right, so, with that being said, I asked that we back up, we continue to do the electrical
Yep.
inspections like we're doing, the health department still does their septic tanks. On soil erosion, we can, go up and say, hey, this is coming, but I don't understand why we would single out just that one thing. You've got electrical, plumbing, you got framing, HVAC, soil and erosion. Like, why are we taking that one out of all them other ones to start with? I think we need to be across the board, have everything in line, and then January the 1st, if we're gonna start everything.
Are you talking about not do soil sedimentation?
Not do soil.
Because that is a state law.
So is everything else I just
So
said.
it's, yeah.
The
So is
other
a
is,
licensed heating and air contractor, so is a licensed plumber, so is a licensed electrician. So,
and they're regulated through the Secretary of State's office, not Dade County.
but you just said soil and erosion was a state.
It is.
So why are we picking that one out of all the other 4 to enforce right now? I'm not saying not to do it, I'm
We're
just saying.
not. I mean, I'm just saying, it's a state law that we need to enforce. I mean, we can't start cherry picking state laws, which ones, that'd be like saying the sheriff's office, which ones do y'all want to enforce? I mean, I get what you, I think I know where you're coming from, but there's nothing new about soil sedimentation control. I mean, the fact that we may not have been doing it by the book,
I need to ask y'all a question. When EPD calls me, sends me an email, do y'all want me to respond to it or send it back to them and say, I'm sorry, I can't? Or what do y'all want me to do?
because if
Well, I
they
need
take
more
care of it,
details
they're
on
gonna
it.
take care of it their way.
I
Right?
need more details on
We're,
what you mean.
because we are called the local issuing authority.
Okay,
An
okay,
LIA.
okay.
And as local issuing authority, that is a buffer between us
And
and the Environmental Protection Division.
Yes, I got you.
Okay.
They
And now-
relegated their power, is what
Yes.
they've done.
Yes.
The
They-
local issuing authority is a relegation of the power of the state of Georgia
Right.
to the local government.
Yes, I got you. I just wasn't, I didn't know what he meant. Like,
So-
I got it.
I had the situation this week, Stephen and I discussed it. There's a gentleman on Lookout Mountain that is building a legal pond. There was a complaint to EPD on it.
I'm aware of it.
Okay, so I checked into it. I asked more than one person. They do have permits through Army Corps of Engineers, and they have their certified drawings. They're legal.
So,
But they're missing point there. They are agricultural exempt.
They are
So
agricultural.
They are legal.
They are legal.
They do
Okay.
have a state of Georgia governance through the agricultural division.
Right.
So if we leave it that way, can we just not tell them they do what they want to do with
Who?
those properties? EPD?
Do you want EPD coming on your property?
No, we don't. Let's not even pretend like we ever do, okay? You know, I'm not one that wants to beat around the bush about this, okay? Stacy, here's the deal. EPD calls you, you say, thank you for your input, right? I'll address it, I'll handle it, okay? I don't want anybody from the damn state of Georgia coming down here and getting in our business in Dade County.
You're right.
Okay, that's the bottom line.
Right.
Okay, so
That's
let's,
what we're trying to stop.
That's the reason we have our red card, is to have that buffer.
That is
If
right.
not,
That's
they
correct.
do what they want.
yeah, and the thing about it is, no, the last thing, partner, that we ever want you to say is, oh me, oh my, I can't do anything, come help. Hell no, okay? We don't want that. You know what I mean? We want to handle what we can handle here in Dade County, right? Keep it at our level, right? And go from there. Does that answer your question?
Yes, sir.
All right.
So back to mine, I need to know the rules of the game. We're doing electrical and BMPs, erosion control.
Well, it would
Is that what
be,
we're doing now?
it would be more of,
Yes. I think that's what we've been doing up until this point. And if we're going to expand that on into the rest,
We'll do
that
that
would
in
be
January.
January 1st. But Billy, what'd you ask, Billy?
I'd like to say this from the previous administration, good or bad, I can't tell you the time EPD is called, that I went out, people look at stuff, something pretty bad, we go out and help.
Right.
Help them get over it. EPD comes up, bam, they pay a big fine. It's better to help people
Yes.
than punish people.
Yes.
If you keep local control, you keep the state out.
Right.
Nobody wants bigger government here.
That is
I
right.
agree with Bob on
That
that.
is-
That's fact, I've been there.
That's the benefit of the local issuing authority.
Don, I'd like to make one recommendation. Stacy, between now and next month, all right? Let's really capture what we mean by moderate electrical standard, okay?
that was my question right there.
Very good. So
Yep.
get with the health department or whoever you need to get with,
Okay.
okay? And let's do that so we can add that to how we operate, right? Have a procedure, right? Or a regulation, whatever you want to call it, right? But a standard, there you go, okay?
Yes.
Right? For beginning, moderate, and final electricity, so it's clear to
The health
everyone.
department is key here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, just
Yeah.
do that and dialogue with all of us as we go, but we'd like, at the next monthly, to be able to read it and approve it, and life goes on, okay?
Well, yeah, but I go back to Philip, and I think this is what he's saying. You can tell me if I'm wrong, but what makes electrical, plumbing,
Which one's more important than the other?
yeah, why are we going with electrical?
Basically, right now, we're inspecting Georgia Power's meter base.
Yeah. I
That's
mean,
all we're doing. We don't go in the house, we don't look at the electricity inside the house. We look at their meter base and tell them that their meter base is what they want. Because they give us a sheet and said, this is what we want on your house. So really, all we're doing is Georgia Power's job as of right now,
Yeah.
plain and simple. But my question, I just want to know the rules of the game.
So, yeah.
So we're doing electrical, and for the meter base, we're not going inside the house yet. And we've added on erosion control, BMPs.
So why are we
Some of it
doing-
right now is, and this may be the wrong thing to say, it's buyer beware. If you don't use a licensed person, you get what you're paying for.
Well, sure, yeah.
And if your plumbing, if you turn on the hot
And the
and the
cold
poop
comes
comes
on?
up out of the faucet, your plumber didn't know what he's doing, because they're not licensed.
I brought this up to let everybody know there's a lot more to this than just
Yeah.
saying, hey, we're gonna enforce this. We have to decide what we're gonna do and how we're gonna do it and go forward from there.
Appreciate that.
Okay.
All right, thank you, gentlemen, for coming. And if y'all got other things to do, I understand. All right. Let's see, where are we now? 6 is now Paula Duval, Chief Appraiser. Sorry to interrupt you there a minute ago. Want to talk to us about our preliminary, 2004 preliminary sales ratio study and the statewide equalization 100% adjustment.
This is what we get every year from Department of Audits. Department of Audits, I want to give a little background of what they do compared to what we do. You know, I've explained many, many times how we arrive at a market value on properties. What the Department of Audits do, they contact me at a certain time of year, and they have a certain amount of sales that they want. So I send them all the information on those particular sales. This year, well, this is for 2024, so you'll look on that first page, it says the study data. The number of samples in the study was 147. So they pulled 147 of our sales in this county and did their own appraisals based on our values and what these market values are. So it's kind of the same, but it's kind of different. But we're trying to get to the same conclusion that our property values are in line with the market in this county. So out of that 147 sales, what we're looking at, the equalized ratio, you'll say says 38.48. What that is, that's the median ratio. That means our values, because, let me go back a little bit. The Department of Revenue standard is for the median ratio to be between a 0.36 and a 0.42. And on top of that, anything below a 0.38, the county cannot collect on public utilities at 40%. So you're kind of losing a little bit of money if you don't get a little bit higher and tighter in your median ratio. So we try to be at least a 0.38 to a 0.41 would be perfect, you know, would be a good. So for 2024, when they pulled the 147 sales, did their appraisals, did their research, you'll see on the next page, the median ratio for all classes of property. There are 4 classes of property that are studied and audited, is your residential, agricultural, commercial, and industrial. For each of those, the median ratio was a 38.48. So that's great. That's, you know, we're well in line. We came to that conclusion with our own internal sales ratio studies, and now the Department of Audits has come behind us and says, we agree, everything that we have studied, this is what the information and the statistical data that we're coming up with. So basically, this backs up what we're doing
Yeah, that's
internally in our
great.
office. Now, the reason this is a little bit better is, you know, we were having some problems the last couple of years because they were having to use current sales where we were using the previous sales, and that's because of what's called Senate Bill 346, which is where we could not tax above the sale price for the year after the sale. We had to use the sale price. So that threw everything off as far as what they do and what we do. Well, now Senate Bill 346 is no longer. It was taken out with
Hallelujah.
House Bill 581.
That's a pain.
So now you can see we're syncing a whole lot better with the Department of Audit's ratio study. Last year, our COD, which is where we appealed it, you know, we had the big issue with that. It came in at 15.41, I think. Anything above a 15 is a failing ratio, or a COD, which measures uniformity. This year, you'll see we've gone straight down to a 7.81, so it's perfect, it's great. So we're pleased. The PRD is a 101, the standard there is a 0.98 to 1.10 or 1.10, so we're great. Everything across the board is great, so we were very pleased with this ratio study that, again, is for 2024. And so this just tells us that, you know, our values are good, we've done our job. And this is just a standard for us that backs up what we're doing internally in our office. So everything looks great.
Thank
That's
you,
a
Paul.
good feeling, yeah. That's
Thank you,
great.
Paula. Any questions?
No, it's great.
All right. Moving on to number 7. This is we've been talking from TDAC, and if you want to mention anything about the ordinances, or Robin, we are working on that. We're down to the point on this of working individually with commissioners, county commissioners. I believe the city of Trenton has already approved the ordinances, their set of ordinances. We, you know, talked about, there was things about leashes and collars and all this, and so all of that, not a lot, all of that was taken out. And so, but Robin, I think, would prefer to sit down individually, or at least with 2 commissioners at a time. And when you've got time, very, very soon, even this coming week, if possible, to give him time to finish up. He's already made most of the modifications necessary for it. And then what we will do is bring that back to TDAC, just to see if there's any input. and then bring that back to this board.
Yep.
You want to say anything else on that?
I think that captures, is that,
Trenton Dade
Trenton Dade
Animal
Animal
Center.
Center.
this coming to us, or is that?
No.
Oh, the
No,
next meeting is on the
next
16th of
Tuesday.
September at 10 o'clock here in this room.
Yeah, let's, if you've got some comments, try to get to me before the end, so we can
Yeah.
present something to them.
Yeah.
But if you'll make a little bit of time to sit with him. Dr. Pullen did that, about a month ago, I suppose. We sat and talked about it. And
I'm going to the thing in the courthouse tomorrow morning. After that, I'm free.
Okay.
You want me to come to your office?
Sure, or give me a call, I'll
Okay,
talk to you.
all right, okay.
All right. Also, under that is B, we added, and that's the proposed Trenton Dade Animal Center drawing.
Okay, here you go.
Alex, as mayor, I know you got a lot of hats, but if you want to, Bob's going to talk, and
Robin,
The
do you get with everybody on?
The city has approved this, right, a while ago, right? It's now our turn. And all this is, for everybody just to know, right? We have to approve this drawing, right, this outline here, right? So we can put together, right, the request for a proposal to go out. All right, and, you know, y'all have seen that before, right? But, you know, the city had approved it. We're working with the city on this. We have to approve it so the RFPs can go out. And then we'll get feedback, right, on how much it's gonna cost, et cetera, et cetera.
I do have one question about, and we both kind of been going over this, is there is some places where there are some things needed, but we don't need to worry about that right now, right? Like sinks and,
Well, the MEP does. We've got to get pricing, we got to get an MEP.
because there's, it shows some sinks and toilets over here, but like in the.
Yes, that's what we're still working with the director and the vet, where she needs hand sinks and washing sinks.
Okay, that's
and
what I thought.
there's about 10 or 12 questions that a MEP has give us, that has worked on some of these, and until we finalize a floor plan, he can't give us an estimate what it's going to cost to develop MEP plans.
Okay, that's what I thought we were
Yes.
at, but I just wanted to clear that up.
That's an AutoCAD drawing that the city hired an architect, a retired architect, to draw those for us, so we can submit an AutoCAD drawing to MEPs for proposals of what it's gonna cost to get mechanical, electrical, and plumbing bids. Still going with a pre-engineered building of some sort to meet the 2018 building codes.
I'm good with it.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm ready to vote.
Philip?
So my question on this building is, if we agree to the MEPs right now, we're not agreeing to build this until we know the budget.
Exactly.
That's correct.
And y'all also have proposals of how we're gonna build the building, what the county's gonna pay on
Yes.
the build of this
That's all
facility.
part of the agreement.
Okay.
Exactly right.
Yeah,
Yes,
so
sir.
we're gonna, so the way we're looking at it right now is we're getting into the thick stuff. So we went over the ordinance, we discussed, officers, and I was actually gonna talk about all this and up there, but, I'll go ahead and get it over with. And, we had to do the agreement to do anything. So then this is going to be, once we get back, numbers on this, then we'll be able to look more at, you know, who's gonna do what. As of right now, we're discussing that we're gonna try to focus on the outside part of the building, and they're going to, the city is gonna try to do the inside of the building.
Yeah.
As you say, budget, I don't know that we will have a full budget, for the entire, like, service.
And we're just on the building
But we
right
will have
now.
Now, right
We
now-
will have the budget
Right.
for what the building would be.
So this is just a layout.
Yeah.
We got a preliminary pricing of the size of the building from several, try to use Georgia builders, or get pricing on the buildings, fine, it's the erection. Most of them just drop and ship, and a lot of folks in Chattanooga do that. We got some leads on that. Once we get the MEP price estimates, that would be something that the committee could bring back to both commissions or this commission to approve the MEPs from an engineer to do that. The one that has done the best pricing for the county lately is currently the one that done for our HVAC structural engineering and HV for the courts facility. He's gave us 2 options for that. And then the last one that won the bid for the MEP of the other facility, the elections facility.
So that,
Will give us a chance to either scale up or scale down, or
yeah, that's
however
the
we
thing. This is
feel.
the initial step needed to get the ball rolling, and we can make adjustments as needed later.
And then on the MEPs, who is paying that? Is that the county or the city or?
Well, that's where the 2 attorneys, that the 3 or 4 meetings we've had with splosh funds that's what this IGA is trying to work out. So we both got parts of money and
Trying to share the costs as best we can.
Yeah, up to.
Of this kind of,
Yeah,
so we're fine to continue to help with that as long as it covers. But both city and county attorneys have been, actually last night and today, and several times we've sat down in fours working on this.
all right, let's go around to, you approve,
I approve as long as this is preliminary to do the budget.
We can make adjustments later.
Make adjustments, as long as I got that per se in writing from having it on film.
okay? Melissa, you're good?
Oh, yes.
I am too.
I am too.
All right.
Sounds good.
Very
We'll add
good.
that to consent agenda.
All right.
All right, number 8 is resolution R-32-25. Let's see here. And that is, we have been working on we've been working on an intergovernmental agreement between the Dade County and the City of Trenton for animal control services. Really, I feel like this has been happening for years, but we have technically started in February this year and continue to work through it even today. This resolution is, there's nothing to the resolution except accepting the intergovernmental agreement. So if you're looking at that, just flip over to the one that says IGA at the top, and it's a red draft on it. I don't know how in-depth you want to go into this. You've had it. We've handed this out. Actually, I handed it out last month. We've been reviewing it, like I said, since February. Robin and Ryan Ray, which is the city attorney, and Alex and I, along with, at times, TDAC committee. And TDAC, y'all, stands for Trenton Dade Animal Center. I know we throw out a lot of acronyms right here, but we have 2 meetings each month with 2 commissioners from the county, 2 commissioners from the city, and then Alex and I, and along with other people that come, the veterinarian that's on staff, the director at the animal control, law enforcement on both sides, city and county, all come to these meetings and have had input on this. We do own a 5-acre tract of real property down here behind the transfer station. And that has been, how many loads of dirt did you move, Billy, roughly, over the life of that site? It's a bunch.
500.
I was gonna say 600, but anyway, I thought it was, yeah, it's a lot. And they did compaction and worked on it. It's a very nice site.
Over the years, I mean,
Yeah,
it hasn't been,
Has access to water, has access to power, and the sewer station, what is that, the Woolbright station is right there, literally within feet of it. So those things kind of work out. Now, the question gets into the technicalities of using SPLOST dollars. When you do that, you know, county has to use SPLOST dollars on county projects, and city has to use SPLOST dollars on city projects. So it gets real tricky. I mean, you know, and what do? Draw a line right down the middle of the building or what? So in essence, Bob recommended this back April, May, I don't know, a long time ago, that maybe we think about building the shell, the perimeter, the shell, and then it probably with the floor and the, you know, all that. But, and then the city do the interior of the building, you know, walls, whatever they need. And so right now, that's the route we were taking, and that's the way this has been written. It does cover a lot. It's a few pages long. You know, the city, has the city approved this, Alex? I can't, no, okay. So y'all are planning on approving this, what, in a week or 2?
Monday.
Monday, all right. And so this will help us try to figure out how to move forward. Robin, you've done a lot on this, which, very good.
So, in broad terms, what it does, as you mentioned, the county will build the outer shell of the building, the city will buy the equipment for inside the building. We'll split the cost of operating the shelter 50/50, at least initially. We're going to make payments to the city quarterly for the amount of the operating costs, less any sort of fees, revenues, grants, gifts that are generated. It also provides for, and let me mention, and if you look at section 5, it says establishment of TDAC board is, as the mayor pointed out earlier today, that should say appointment to the TDAC board, and we'll establish it in our ordinance that's going to draft to this. But anyway, so 7-member board, 3 appointed by the county, 3 appointed by the city.
Yep.
The 7th member, I think we decided to appoint upon agreement by the county executive and the city mayor, just by agreement. I think that's a slight change from what we had.
Yeah, we had friends of TDAC, right?
Issue regarding whether an outside or third party can appoint
Got it.
members.
Yeah.
So
Right.
we eliminated that issue by doing it that way.
Okay.
Yeah, that was
But the TDAC committee has met long and hard on this one, and I think we are at a point, I mean, we're tweaking words such as the establishment versus appointment. That's a good example of where we are, but it's ready to go.
So we have 3 from the city, 3 from the county, and then the 7th one, say that again?
It's by agreement of the county executive and the
Whoever that person
and the
is?
city.
Okay, all
mayor.
right, that is a change.
Yeah, and we would be happy to appoint, I sure don't want to be on it, appoint a member from the TDAC. There's 501c3 group, and that's perfect if that's,
Well, that's what we had.
that's what we had, and I'm more than happy to agree to that with the mayor.
Okay, got it.
But the county commission appoints 3 members, the city commission appoints 3 members, and then the 7th member is.
And those 3, one of them is gonna be from the community,
At least one.
at least one.
At
yes.
least one from each, the city and the county.
Yep,
Yep.
okay.
And we have to put that in the ordinance, because if you think about it, an IGA technically doesn't have the authority to create boards, typically. So that's why we thought it was more important to have it actually put in the ordinance, both ordinances. And that may be an amendment that the city will adopt as well. Again, it's been a lot of work. Let's go around if you have any questions.
No, I was pleased with the meeting the other day. I thought that was a good, viable session we had the other day, to come up with this.
Is that whole 5-acre tract going in this?
Yeah, it would. It's a much larger tract, but there's 5 acres of it I think that they're planning to use for this purpose.
5 acres?
I thought it was 2.
I think that says 5, so I mean, we
It
can.
does say 5.
Yeah, we can adjust it if we need to, now's the time, but I don't know, Don, whatever.
I have no idea how many.
I'm
acres it
fine
is.
with that. I mean,
Need a couple acre pad ready, then there is behind the fence, there's probably 3 acres of grass and wood.
Yeah, right now, though, the 2 acres, right, are ready to go.
Right,
Yeah.
ready.
yeah,
So-
I'm fine with it
Yeah.
because we think about,
All 5 acres.
No, we're saying the 2
How many?
acres on this side of the fence, that's where the shell is gonna go.
We don't need
Right.
to maintain some land enough in case we have a storm, hail, tornadoes. I mean, we've been in that situation, we've had no place to put. We've got to keep part of that for our.
Oh, sure.
No, I agree, that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
we don't need, they don't need all that.
No, we don't need 5 acres.
No.
So what
2.
is it, 2, is it 2, the pad about 2 acres?
I'd get that.
Or 2.5, or?
It is, 70 yards deep. And it's, 200 something feet deep, and I'm trying to go off memory, it's probably, 115 yards.
Across?
Paula, what is that?
It's close to 2 acres.
Okay.
yeah,
So
let's-
we want to amend that to say 2 acres here, is that good?
Yeah, or whatever that measures out of.
Okay.
but not the whole 5 acres.
Where is that?
I agree.
Very first page, I'm thinking.
Right here.
Okay.
It's right here, Don.
Yeah, it
that
says owns a certain 5-acre tract of real property, right?
That acreage though is behind it, correct, Billy?
Well, oh, okay.
It's behind it.
That's not actually saying
We
it's
got
gonna be.
land
Yeah, it's
within
not,
use on
I
both
don't think it
sides
reads that way.
For three sides.
Oh, okay, wait a minute. This is just the whereas where the county owns
Yes.
the entire tract. It's not saying that's gonna be
It's gonna
designated.
use
Right.
that.
Yeah. Leave it alone.
It says in the last sentence, it says desire for the property to be utilized for animal control
Okay.
services.
So what,
I think that let's go and make the change to 2 acres.
There you go.
Or
Okay.
3, it
All right,
doesn't
good.
matter.
Okay. We can do that.
two?
2.
2.
Whatever it favors, too, that sounds good.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
2 acre.
That works.
Make that 2. Anything else?
So my question on this agreement, it's how long is this agreement? What are we?
These are all, okay, all IGAs, intergovernmental agreements are they're 50-year agreements typically. That's the max. There is a 10-year, was
Yeah,
it 10
10
years?
years.
Yeah, 10 years.
But we agreed in 2 years to take a look at this again.
Yes.
But I mean, 10 years is what it's listed at 10, is that
Yeah,
correct?
10-year initial term, and then successive 1 year term automatically roll over
Right.
if someone objects.
All right, so,
But we're gonna look at it annually to adjust fire on the operating cost.
But there is an out for both
Both, yeah.
city and county.
Every year or just in 10 years?
No, it's all.
It's the first 2 years. So the first year, we're definitely
find it.
reviewing. The next year, we're reviewing. And of course, I think it said, I've looked at it so much. Right here's,
Page 4.
yeah, top of page 4, end of page 3.
What is that?
That's where it
Oh,
says.
parties agree that in the event of default of the term, here under the C. Cure said default within 90 days within written notice of defaulting party. So it's a 90-day termination
In case of default, right?
in case of default, yes.
Yeah, right here,
It's not 90, it's 120.
Okay, yeah, at least 120 days prior to the date of automatic. Oh, that's the automatic renewal. Oh, yeah, okay. At least 120 days prior to the date of automatic renewal, either party may provide written notice of its intention not to renew this agreement.
Philip, I think the thinking was to make the initial term 10 years is that both sides were investing a lot of money into the shelter, and they didn't want it to be
pushed on somebody's side.
Yeah, too short because in order to be hung out there without the initial terms. That's why the first one's 10 years.
okay. As far as operating costs, what is all considered, what's going under that?
Basically, the operating cost, now that's different than the staff cost, okay? All right, operating cost is gonna be animal care and the building maintenance. That's what we had talked about the other day.
Yes, it talks about that,
I mean, it is, costs shall include all wages, services, supplies, utilities, and other customary expenses of running an animal center.
And then, we said that the staff cost, the city would pay for the city staff and the county would pay for the county staff that's there.
But also,
and
less any donations, gifts, grants, fines, or fees collected during the calendar quarter, meaning there'll be expenses less any kind of revenues, then the net is what would be due, divided by 2.
Yeah, and we also discussed that, it's gonna take a little bit of time to, 6 months to a year to kind of figure that out. So that's why we kind of came up with like a supplement, so we could there would be a 5 board to, if there's something came up that the city would have to go to the city, then they'd have to come to the county so there would be 5 people to review what that update was or concerns or anything that they were having.
So who actually has legal responsibility for this?
So as far as operations, it's the city.
City.
And they are billing us for that. Now, the exception of that would be the animal control officer that the county is providing. There's, both sides are providing one, and we're providing one, and so we'll be on hook for the county one. But other than that, it would be the city.
Yeah, but Bill, the city has control of the management and the daily operations.
And hold the license too, the city will.
So the personnel, if they decide to hire, we have really no input on the personnel, and if we think they need 3 more veterinarians down there, we don't have no control over that. But if they think we don't have to pay the extra to have that.
If they feel like that's what they need and they don't have the money for it, they could come to this board and they can ask for it. And we can determine whether we think that that's a need or not, so.
Yeah, under the appointment, section 5, it talks about the advisory board. That's what, they would need to go through their board, and then representative of that board come to this board to request any kind of additional outside resources, additional staff, additional whatever. They have hopes of using, of course, volunteer staff, and I know how that goes. One day you got them, next day you may not. But also trustees, hopefully female trustees. That's something we don't typically use a lot of female trustees outside of the jail, but that is something you find in a lot of counties where female trustees are utilized, but that's a decision of the sheriff's office.
Yeah, and by the time we get where we're hopefully getting numbers on the building, like we're meeting twice a month. I hope to have some type of a budget that we'll be able to work off. It may not be 100%, but it's gonna be enough for us to know what to fund them. It will probably have to be adjusted in time, but we should definitely have something come out of that.
Yeah, Alex.
We can, on page 6 at the very top, it says that, we can add one thing, I think, with an additional cost for any capital improvements, maintenance, repairs, and we can say operating expenses of the animal center approved by both governed entities.
Where are you at?
Top of
Page
page
6.
6.
Oh, I got you.
Section 7.
So that way,
Oh, yeah, both
we've also
governed
got a section in here that by certain times of the year, we will present
Yeah, okay.
budgets back to what we're currently doing to this commission, from the city commission, work on both our physical years.
Yeah.
To, by April, before y'all are working on budget, we should be able to present what the budget is. But if we need to change some of that language for operating expenses, I think that's fair.
Yeah,
We all know where we are.
The TDAC group is, we're really working hard. We don't want to put full burden on the city. The city don't want to put full burden on us. That, it's always brought up, the county's bigger than the city. We're really working hard to make sure that it's equal and effective, the best that we can.
I'm trying to find that section. It says that we will provide a budget to the county, the TDAC board, and the city. So, again, both ways, because with our fiscal year or fiscal calendar year, even now, we've got the rough estimate where we should be at 66%. We're sitting at 58% at the end of August.
I think originally it said to be provided by April 15th.
Yes, that's what we was talking about last night, and I couldn't remember what we finalized.
So what we did is, I think we changed that to say that we're gonna be making, y'all are gonna bill us quarterly, 30 days after the quarter ends, and that we'll pay 30. So at that point, there was an issue about having to do the first year.
Yeah, we were talking,
We were in so many different ways to do it, but I think if we need to adjust that, and,
well, I think each quarter we'll know
yeah.
more each quarter.
Yeah, and we'll
It's
turn
gonna
down.
take about 2 years to get a true budget.
This is the first year with a director and a vet, a part-time vet. So that right there with that director and part-time vet is $53,000 for it. It's in the budget right now. And so we're on top of that where we're at, but Everything else, we've had a lot of general supplies, just things the vet needed that didn't qualify for splosh that we've had to get, so. But overall, we're currently, again, this is our first year with a full person and a vet in the city budget too. We took, Ronnie was the one that was in that budget. We moved him over, which doubled our Parks and Rec budget for this fiscal year with this and cut the pay down a little bit from what recommendations of the committee of what a director would be and the price that was negotiated with Dr. Jennifer Zercourt for so much a month, and we do them part-time employees so they don't get hit with 1099s at the end of the year.
I got one more question and I'm done. Mine's a what if. We're going in this 10-year agreement. What if? So we, in my mind, from the numbers I've seen, it's $400,000 total cost to run this place. That's in my opinion. That's what it's going to be. Say 2 years in, we're at 800,000. What if it's can the county get out of that?
So we can't terminate the agreement. What we do have some say into that though, meaning that, they have to provide that to us and we talk about that, have to approve it, but we could not get out of it, after 2 years.
So legally, we're bound to this agreement no matter what the cost.
Unless you give them the building.
That's right.
400,000 is pretty cheap for, if it's gonna cost us $300,000 or $400,000 a year to run this place. I'm the what if.
Yeah,
No,
I
you're
agree.
right. You're absolutely
So right now, you're saying if we get into this agreement, there's no out for 10 years.
Unless there's a default, yeah, you're right, there would be no getting
What
out.
would be the default?
If they don't comply with something they're supposed to do, talking about the city.
Yes.
If they, fail to do something they're required to do under the agreement.
What if we fail to pay?
That's right.
That's a
Or
default.
we're default.
Yeah.
So we could just choose not to pay and
I mean, that's default.
wipe our hands and be done with it.
I don't think it would be that
I mean, that's
easy.
default. Well, I mean, I think that's
I'm-
default. I mean, I
mine
don't
is
want to
the
go
what-
down that
mine is the
route.
what
I mean,
ifs.
I'm just thinking.
If this goes the wrong way and we get
Yeah.
this building built, because nobody's done this yet, we're 10 years locked in here. That one, that's a long time for me.
It is a long time.
That's why we're having these meetings. I agree too. They've heard my reservations of this, of the 50%, so it's hard, and we've been beat up by city taxpayers that pay a higher millage of county tax and turn around with a city tax, and we're taking 50% of our county tax. You look at it, that's how you got to explain it a different way, but it's just a service that we're trying to do. And what records have we got to show what that is, and, that's why,
For me in this position, I'd be comfortable with 3 years and then go back and look at it then. That's when you have real numbers and know where to go with it. I mean, we've got the money. If we're talking about the splash money we have to build the building, we're talking about building the outside of it, the shell, the city doing all the stuff in the inside, we're both gonna be about the same amount of money invested. 3 years, it lets us know what it's gonna cost to run it. It would be hard pressed for me to say yes on this right now at a 10-year lock-in.
Well, Robin, where is that language, the 3-year or 10-year?
It's on,
should be on the 4 or 5, I believe.
yeah.
Excuse me, it's on 3.
Yeah, section 3, page 3.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
So, Mr. Mayor, since you're representing the city right now, would you be amenable
Yes.
to changing that to a 3-year?
Yeah, this is a team effort of both commissions, and I think there is some reserve, and y'all heard mine
Okay.
Tuesday,
Right.
very hard.
Yeah, I mean, it's going both ways, so, I mean.
And to a point,
Yeah.
it's one of those things too much to fight, but we're taking,
Instead of, Bill, are you okay with 3 years versus 10? Bob,
Absolutely.
Yep.
Melissa, okay.
I will address.
3 it is. Now, that's be up to the city, of course, to agree to it, but,
We'll forward it to them tonight, let them
Okay.
know.
Good recommendation.
Thank you.
any other questions? Add it to the consent agenda? All right.
I guess we were banking on that this is gonna work out well.
All right. All right.
We worked so hard
Number
on it.
9, community forest
But the same thing,
Oh.
like the citizens voted for it, but then in 3 years, right, if we see it's not working, right, then we can,
We can adjust.
big time. Yep. All right, good.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Community Forest grant awarded. I know Philip has been through this whole thing for a long time. You want to say anything on that? It's a good thing. We got awarded a $500,000 grant.
We, this goes back to the community forest project on the side of Lookout Mountain. We were awarded the first grant. As of right now, we've spent, what, 50,000 on this, roughly on this project to get it started. They're finishing up the survey on it. But we were awarded the other day our first $500,000 grant to go towards the purchase of this land. And the following day, he was presenting to the next level of grants, which would have been about a $1.2 million grant if we get it. So we are moving forward with it and have made progress on it. I ain't heard back from him yet how that meeting went, but from earlier conversations, I believe it probably went very well. So that's where we're moving along with this project.
Yeah.
The second grant's how much?
The way it works is we take, the purchase price is $200,000 less than what they give. So we bank $200,000. The county has agreed to give $500,000. So it's $700,000, and then we get this grant here, it's another $500,000. So we have a $1.2 million worth of money, and the grant's 50/50. So we can go after up to another $1.2 million. We're using the money that we've got banked right now. So if we get it, it'll be another $1.2 million. So it'll give us $2.4 million. Part of that will be for purchase. The other part will immediately start planning and developing the property for trails and stuff for the public to open it up and turn it loose.
And the county winds up with how much in it?
The county ends up with about $600, $700 per acre when it's all said and done. When the whole thing is complete, the money will be turned over to the county in the county's possession. And I think it was like $700 or $750 per acre is what we'll have in it when we're done.
And Stephen, what's Emily's last name? Do y'all remember Yeah, Emily Camarango? See, I can't ever say it. Well, anyway, Camarango or something. I spoke with Emily. Camargo, sorry, I butchered that. Spoke to her earlier, and so there is as part of accepting the grant, we do need to, I do need authorization to sign this. And this is, I asked her, I said, are we committing to anything? She said, absolutely not. At any time, you want to get out of this, you can get out of it. Now, the earnest money, I would say $50,000.
Right.
That was approved last October 2024 under the former commission. But, so that's already been expensed, but that's part of that whole.
And the 50 was the due diligence for
Yeah,
the
due
survey,
diligence.
the soil analysis that they have to have, a level 3 or 4 soil analysis.
Yeah.
That stuff.
And so I don't know, Robin, if we need a resolution on this. If you want to help us type one, we can. But this is with an agreement with the Department of Natural Resources Land and Water Conservation Fund project agreement. And it's just stating that they're working towards, well, we've received the grant from LWCF for $500,000. And they are still, she made it very clear, they are working towards the other grants. One was, she called the Community Forest Program grant, and then TPL, I don't know what that stands for, TPL. Okay, all right, yeah. Another $200,000 for restoration work, and then Georgia Power, some kind of, something with Georgia Power, funds through there. So there's alternate, if one grant fails, they've got a series of alternate grants that they're working towards. So, I mean, there's been a lot of discussion about money in the community lately, and I just want people to know, we're doing our due diligence trying to do is all grants. Believe me. I mean, we got so many other projects on the books. We're not looking to spend any money for things that we don't need, But this is quite an opportunity, and it is for, what was it, 620 acres, 650 acres of land for outdoor recreation, and it's also, it extends way past Clallan Canyon, up the side of the mountain. There affords some protections and conservation.
The other thing to know about this land is already off of our tax digest.
Yeah, that's right.
We are not collecting property taxes on this property as of now.
Yeah, so there's no deducting it, it's already
Yeah, we're not
off.
losing anything.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yep.
All right, any questions about that?
I think that's good news.
Are we good to put that on the consent agenda?
Yes.
Everyone?
Yep. Yes.
Okay, all right, making
Fair
sure.
enough.
Okay, number 10, Philip, Historic Courthouse Utilities.
So we discussed a lot and then it gets dropped and we forget about it or lose it. But when we started renting the courthouse, we had discussions on it, the power bill, water bill. Was the rent actually gonna cover that? I had Gidget to look at the power bills that we've paid since we've been in it, the water bill. The only thing we don't know is the insurance cost for it. But from what she showed from the rents and the rent that we've received from upstairs, we've actually made $2,117. So we're not in the negative. I mean, that's, unless our insurance is extremely high on the building, we're breaking even.
Okay,
Well, I see, so the IDA pays $250,
Yes.
right? And the allowance for Dade pays a little more than that, $833, right?
Yep.
For their areas over there. Okay.
okay.
Well, thank you for good news.
That is
But
good
there's a
news.
difference in how many offices are included in that. isn't
Yeah.
there?
Yes.
One on three, one and one.
Yeah, they got it here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, that is good news, thank you. We've already done number 11. 12, Melissa, that's the nuisance ordinance.
Okay. Well, I have really sat back and thought about this, and it was really actually heavy on me. So, and I've had some calls and some good discussions, and so I want to simplify this and kind of break it down a little bit more. The first portion that I want to focus on and work on is, let's see, junkyard dealer slash salvage yard. And Robin has not even had a chance to go over this. So this is, very, very fresh. So I was just thinking about the other things that I had applied, and I feel like the government is always trying to tell us what we can and can't do and what we can have, and not trying to help us enough. So I really want to, and I thought about my dad a lot about this and the way he done things, and he would find a solution to help the people, not take the stuff away from the people. So I really want to hit the books and really try to find some grants, because I don't want to do this forever, and I want something to stick. If there is, which the main thing that I was focused on was debris from tore down buildings and abandoned homes being, taken care of. So it might take some time, but I'm really going to fight and look how I could help those situations instead of putting the burden on the people. But I did want to kind of go over this because I feel like this portion just goes along with everything else that we spoke today, and I think this is something that we could all discuss and easily make a solution for it. And it's kind of goes over junkyards or salvage yards and how we want to take care of them. And it's my outcome out of this is basically that we do have many properties that are like this, and I am always thinking about the leakage in the ground and how they're kept and, you know, for instance, I look at my own backfield because my son, like I've said many times, loves cars and how he's handling them and what he's doing with the oil and so I think it is my duty to make sure that these properties are being handled properly and done the right way.
Okay.
A while ago, I got a call from the sheriff's office. And, you know, there was a long list of proposals, right? And they said, Bob, please let the commission know the following, that, you know, of all this stuff that's listed there, we're gonna focus on two things. This is from the sheriff's department, okay? They were concerned about, because we've had a couple of people come in here about the noise concerns, right, from Airbnbs, right, that are raising all kind of commotion in established neighborhoods, right? They said, you know, and we're not at the point yet where we know, I'm just stating this as a possibility, that 10 o'clock during the week and 12 on the weekends, right? And then it's gotta be quiet, or that's gotta be worked. That, you know, so the noise ordinances that folks have come in on public input have spoke to us about, and the trash is the other one, okay? I just wanna make sure that they said that, you know, they could handle both of them, right? You know what I mean? And that kind of thing, so they just wanted me to share that with everybody.
The original document had come from the sheriff's department.
Yeah, I know, but
we
then
worked
they
on,
thought about it, and
so-
they just called me, and
Yeah, yeah.
they asked me
so-
to share that.
Well, yeah, and that's where I'd go back to is that, you know, I feel the same way. And I'm not even huge on the noise. I mean, I don't want to disturb my neighbor or my neighbor disturbing me, but we do live in the country and.
I know, but
and
still.
That's
yeah.
a wonderful thing, so.
Okay. All right.
Any other? Okay. All right, thank you. We'll move, are we done? You
Yeah.
good? All right, make sure. All right. Moving on to number 13, the elections building construction project. So we've had, all had an opportunity since last month's meeting to, lots of different meetings, and we've met individually with the architect or the engineers who drew up the plans. We met with Luana Vaughn, the Board of Elections, and have had their input. We had a public hearing to listen to the public's input, had plenty of online input. We did receive 6 bids, qualified bids, last month. And that was just, was it hours or the day or two before the meeting? I can't even remember. Was it the same day?
Yeah,
Same
it's the
day
same day.
of August. We actually, August 7th, I guess, we received the bids earlier in that morning, or that day, I should say. And then that evening announced the sticker shock that we all, you know, found to be eye-opening. 2.9 million all the way up to 3.5 million, whatever it was. And so I think we've all agreed, and I want y'all to weigh in on this. That is too much. I think that we probably started out at 12,400 square feet. And I've heard we recommend we just at least go back to 6,200 square feet. That's the original floor plan. We know that there is some additional space inside in that floor plan. Could it be cut probably more? It probably could. But let me say this, the plans that we've already had drawn and spent money on, we're gonna have to move some of the HVAC system in the basement, or what was gonna be in the basement, up. But that shouldn't be a problem, but it will take additional space. And there was something else, Alex, what was that other thing on the top? Moving something from the basement up. I guess water, of course, some water. Yeah, electrical room. The electrical room and the, whatever was downstairs, HVAC. So all those things would need to be addressed, moved upstairs, moving around a few walls here and there, expanding that, but there should be sufficient room to do that with no problem. and it does provide growth. I mean, for growth, any kind of growth, I would see with it, at least in the next, I hope, 30 years. I feel confident 20 years, at reducing it in half. We know the purpose behind trying to have the basement. It was a good opportunity at the time to put in space that would be much cheaper right now to build, but I think basically based on what we heard from the, from the public, I feel like I would like to see it reduced at least in half, and that would do the trick. I would prefer to see it be one flat level without a basement, because if you have a basement, you're still gonna have to move stuff up and down at some point. Inside, outside, done whether, I don't know. It just, to me, it makes sense to have it one flat building. Many reasons, ADA, compliance, I mean, it goes on and on and on. I'm not hung up on the type of building on the outside. We do have, most county buildings have brick veneer, a metal roof. Metal roofs tend to last longer than asphalt shingle roofs, but that's fine. There's alternate facades, concrete, hardy board, whatever. I mean, plant shrubs around it. I don't know. I mean, somebody said there was security risk and worries about security if it's a metal building. Well, if somebody breaks in, they're breaking the law to break in a building. I mean, you know what I mean? So I'd rather, I don't want to go too cheap on windows, because I can tell you when you do that kind of stuff, you're just going to pay utility bills for then on out, you know. We don't have to have the most expensive windows, but I mean, I think whatever it called for probably was sufficient. It's kind of the storefront windows that you see in this building here, and I don't even think they would be anywhere near that big. But I'd like to hear from y'all. I'd like to go ahead and approve the, announce a contractor, and from that, what we can do is determine, are we going to use that contractor, give them either an amount, this is the amount we want to go with, or get their input. I think we owe it to that person to discuss with them. We had, like I said, we had 6 contractors, and there's one that stands out more than any other. They met all the due diligence. What was you said, Philip? We had 20 questions, or
About 20 questions.
and they were good questions. And
Yeah, they were good.
Alex
They had
Case,
good feedback on,
yeah, Alex Case does a lot of information technology stuff around this building, and has worked closely with the Board of Elections over the years for their security concerns. Gidget worked for the Better Business Bureau for 31, 32 years, 33 years, whatever. So she knows all about due diligence and how to dig and hunt down the good guys and the bad guys. So they did a great job of investigating the folks and came back with a clear, one of the lower bids. It's not the lowest bid, but it's one of the lower bids. So if y'all want to talk about that, I'd like to hear your perspective.
Well, on the first part, first of all, I was quite pleased with the analysis, research, whatever, on all the general contractors that came in. I thought that the questions that were put out there were good, right? And I thought the feedback we got, because we asked everybody that had ever hired these people, how was it, right? And some said, nope, they ran over. Other ones said, nope, they weren't good, they didn't keep you informed, et cetera, et cetera. You know what I mean? And then others, when we narrowed them down to 2, right, generally speaking, right? Hey, they're good people, they keep you well informed, they give you updates, et cetera, et cetera. So I was quite pleased with that. On the other hand, like we said the other night, I don't want a basement, right? So I concur with 1 level floor, right? And I think the big thing we have to decide here then is that, are we gonna go in and make some recommendations, or are we gonna give the general contractor, and we need to discuss this with him, right? An amount, you know what I mean? I'm just making this amount up, 1.5 million, and tell us what you can do for that, or something like that, you know what I mean? Or whatever it may be,
Yeah.
right? That's my input.
Melissa?
yeah, I agree. I think the with outside of the building, I mean, these days, I think you could go a lot of different directions, so, and I think the, contractor would probably give us a better idea of what would be best for the situation that we're looking for. So I would be, willing to hear what the expert has to say.
Okay.
So, and I agree, it would be nice if the basement could happen but not be finished, but it's just not the numbers that we need, and, I think all at one level is, better for everybody, especially the workers that work there, because most of the time it's the older people, and nobody needs to be going down into the basement.
After hearing a lot of the questions or comments, do we feel like that we've done due diligence, that there's not offices that can be combined, or the court building, court rooms? Do we feel like that those are totally unworkable?
I feel like this commission and the former commissions for years have been looking at that. That was a great discussion from 2022 through 2024. And I mean, and they tried. They truly did try.
Since I've been in office.
And when I could not leave my home for a week, right, I delved into this, right? I looked everywhere. I looked at the North Dade schools. I looked at Rising, you know what I mean? I looked at the city center over here, you know what I mean? I looked down the street down here, right, to see if we could use those. Well, we don't own those anymore, right? So I don't have an issue with the location. I think the homework on that was done very well, right? And even separately from all the hard work that was happening before, right? I did it on my own, and I came back with the location is fine.
I agree. I mean, I was one who, since I've come into office, I have went to many counties, looked at their facilities. I've been in and out of most buildings in this county. Yeah, I mean, if that's the question that you'd ask me, that's the one thing I could say for sure I feel good about.
I have no problems with the location over there, but if there's a building that's here or something that's empty and we can use it, then it's already there and paid for it and won't cost more money. But I have no problem with the location over there. I have no problems with a steel building. I mean, a metal building. I'm not worried about having it last for 30 years. But we've got buildings all around, the 4-H building over here, I don't know how long that's been there. That's a building, we have the kids in there, and there's several buildings around here that are still buildings that have been there for a long time and not gone away. Yeah. So I think we need to look at what's gonna be doesn't have to be the cheapest, but the most economical for the long run. To do the job, to keep it dry, and within a certain temperature. I mean, this electronic stuff, and it's probably gonna get more complicated over the years, so.
I'm sure. Philip?
So, I'm probably opposite on the metal building. I would probably, as far as what we're doing now, I'd say go with the contractor, see what he says, see what he can do for us. Discuss price per square foot. If we're going no basement, we're doing that building. Once we get a price back from him and we put a max that we're gonna spend on it, including furnishings and IT and all that stuff, everything that's gotta go into it, we may have to go back and look, all right, do we just build a space to store the equipment, have their offices, and have somewhere to tally the votes and still vote in this building here? I know there's been stuff said, but in a meeting we had a couple of weeks ago, I was told that it was not illegal for us to be voting in this room. So the option may be that we build a new building, cut the voting part out of it, downsize the building, and still have to vote in here. They're gonna say we gotta move the voting machines. That's just one more that we gotta move, because we gotta move 6 others anyway. But I do think we need to discuss it further with the contractor that we have chosen, or that we think we want to do the job, and see what they say. Because they can give you a square foot price.
You know, when I brought up metal the other night, that was based upon just trying to reduce the cost overall, right? But now we've said we're not gonna have a basement and those things, and I had people that I've known for, well, ever since I moved back here, right? I mean, from the very beginning, and I trust them, they do this for a living, right? I said, lay out for me the difference between brick and metal, right? And they did, and I think, you know, if we can get the cost down, like you said, per square foot, that the brick will last longer, right? It doesn't leak as much. There's some advantages to having brick. I was just, you know, very much so just trying to keep the cost down, but if we can take this approach, I think that would be good.
So, County Clerk, who was the winner? Who was the top contractor? Did you bring your basket
I
full?
didn't bring it, but it's Robert Roberts.
Robert
Chattanooga,
Roberts of Chattanooga had the bid, or what we consider the winning proposal. And so, Philip, you've done some due diligence on that as well. Robert Roberts, I don't know contractors well, but
Well, they were not the cheapest, they were second in line, is that correct? They're out of Chattanooga, the company that was number one was Canton, Atlanta area, somewhere down there. The questions that was asked for them did not come back good at all for what we wanted. If you talk to subcontractors about Roberts, they do a good job, they're on time, they pay their subs, they do what they're supposed to, so they get a good quality product out of them as well, so I'm good with that company. And then, as far as our thing goes, it says cheapest or best
right.
for what we need. So we do
Yes.
not have to go with the cheapest price. Because just like with the library, that's not always the best.
Yeah, right.
Well, references are a big deal, so,
Yeah, and everyone that had hired them spoke very positive.
yes.
I work for him. I've done work for Robert.
Okay, good.
I enjoy working with him.
All right, so, well,
But,
go ahead.
but to be clear that
Yeah.
we chose that contractor, not that price.
Oh, sure, no.
Yeah.
But let that be
Oh,
known to
yeah.
the public. we
Yes,
chose
put that in the-
Contractor, not that price.
Madam Clerk, make sure that gets in the record.
Contractor only.
Yes, we're going
Write
back now.
it twice,
We're going back to him and saying, we will hire you, but here's how we're adjusting fire.
not the
And can you,
price.
you know, are you willing to do this?
And also to note that they may not want to.
I know, that's what I'm
mean,
saying. Can you
know,
do this? Are
yeah,
you willing to do it?
They may not
For
want to.
this price, for a certain price.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
as we dialogue, yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, so we will reach out to Robert Roberts LLC, I think it was LLC, wasn't it, of Chattanooga, and to discuss, not the price, but to further discuss opportunities to see how we can negotiate. Another thing I would like to see is us use, if it's possible, all local contractors,
Right.
as many as we can.
Yeah,
If they can maintain the price. What I don't want is hire, one of the contractors, I don't know who they were, I can't remember. Subs, but,
One was local, but I don't remember.
one was local, one was not local, and one, I can't remember, so. But the one that's not local, deals with HVAC, and that's usually one of the most expensive costs, whatever, of a project. So we need to make sure that, I don't wanna hire somebody later to have to fix their problem, which we had to do not only with the library, but with the new court facility at times. It's been a lot of heartburn over the years. And so, anyway, so Robert Roberts, LLC of Chattanooga, I'll add to the consent agenda that we have acknowledged that they did win the bid as far as the contractor, not the price. Any other questions, clarifications? No. All right. Resolution R-37. We're getting close, y'all, I promise.
I thought we were done.
Yeah, me too. That's an amendment, as we do each year, we have amendments to our budget. The auditors are coming this year a little earlier. They're coming about, 3 or 4 weeks earlier, actually. They're gonna come in late September, which is a good thing, and because by law, we have to have our financial statement and audit complete and turned into the Georgia Department of Audits and Accounts. So this has been sent to you. It's Rebecca, you want to talk about it?
30th.
Come closer.
Is it on?
Tap on it.
Okay. Our year end is June 30th. We leave our books open for the 60 days preceding, no,
Here, stop in that.
no, it is now. Can you hear me? Yeah,
now
there
we
you
can.
go. Okay, again, our year end is June 30th. That's when our fiscal year end closes. Our books stay open to record revenue and expenses back to their proper period for the 60 days following that. So if we get any invoices or any receipts in after that date that need to go back that were actually needed to be received or due, as of June 30th, we post those back. And this is just the budget amendment to then follow those revenue and expenses, what we've actually expended or what we actually received during that year. We also do a budget. We have some smaller funds. There's a special sheriff fund, a drug abuse and education fund. There's several there that we're required to have, and we do a budget for those as well at the end of the year to record whatever expense activity happens in that. And also by law, we're required to do a budget for our ARPA expenses at the end of the year and what we've spent out of ARPA, so that's the last thing on there, are those ARPA expenses.
So this is a resolution to approve the amendment number 1 for FY '25 budget. Any discussion?
No, concur.
Are we good to put that on consent agenda? All right. All right, I think we've reached the end. I know it's been a long meeting, sorry about that. 8 o'clock. Let's take a 5-minute break. We'll meet about 6 minutes after 8 up front. Atkins to come lead us in the invocation. Our county chaplain and the Pledge of Allegiance to begin tonight's meeting will be led by Bob.
Stand,
Let's all
stand, please.
stand.
Father, we're thankful for this day that you've let us enjoy. We thank you, Lord, for all the benefits that all of us as your children enjoy. And Lord, we're grateful for all the things. I pray now tonight that you'd give wisdom to this and discernment to these commissioners, that they would listen intently and judge fairly in all things. Thank you again for the privilege to serve you in Christ's name. Amen.
Everyone face the flag, hand over heart, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Thank you. Whoops.
That's me.
Thank you, Commissioner, for the pledge, and also Brother Jerry for the invocation. We appreciate that. And Brother Jerry has his beautiful wife here tonight, Miss Linda. And she was a Blevins, but that's Rex's sister, just in case anybody needs to know that. Don't throw tomatoes at her or anything. We love old Rex. All right. This is the regularly scheduled meeting of the Dade County Board of Commissioners, which takes place at the same time on the first Thursday of every month. Proper notice of this meeting was given in the legal organ of Dade County and has been posted in the hallway of the administrative building. At this time, I'll call the roll and have it recorded by the clerk. Dr. Quillen? Present. Mr. Hartline?
Present.
Mr. Woods?
Present.
Mrs. Bradford?
Here.
And the chair is present. We have a quorum and therefore a legal meeting. This time, do we have any citizens' participation?
I'm here, my name's Glennis Lawson, and I'm here on behalf of the seniors at the center. I'm their voice. Rhonda was their voice, but she's out on medical leave because of issues that's been going on down there. And a lot of the seniors have voiced their concerns, and she's documented all of it. So y'all all know it, it's in HR record. But the main thing I want to say is she has been a faithful employee for 23 plus years with this county in transit. And she has built trust with all these people. She's had her heart and her soul in that job and those seniors. And she has done a splendid job. When she takes her complaints that she hears, when she takes those complaints and questions them, she's being reprimanded, she's being ridiculed, and that's the reason she's on medical leave. Now you got another situation here with another employee in that same building that has just turned in her resignation, and she was doing a wonderful job. The first 2 years she was there, you couldn't ask for anybody to be any better to her. Paula came and worked a year, and then when Paula had to leave, she required that Marcy come back. Marcy came back. She's been there now almost a year, and 2 weeks after she came back, they started being mean and ugly to her and her daughter. Her daughter is autistic, and she handles the activities down there. They both have done a marvelous job, and they have been done wrong. Just as Rhonda, they've been done wrong. And I am standing up here because I'm going to be the senior's voice, because Rhonda's not able now. And something's got to change. Something has got to change. That center has never been in this kind of turmoil since I've been there, and I've been in it since '01, and it's never had this kind of turmoil. It's never had this divide in the workers at that center. Never. And it's a shame. It's appalling as to how things are down there right now. And another gripe I've got is the guys, whoever does the yard work, you've been down there, you've seen it. You've been down there and seen it. Me and you talked about it. They don't weed eat, and when they do get out there and mow, they sling the grass in the front, they sling it on the sidewalks, and they don't bother to blow it off. They just leave it there for it to be tracked in. And you can go down there right now and look at it. I've looked at it all this morning, and you can do the walking track around the ball fields. There's a tree down that the wind took down. It went down on the fence. It's pushed up back there in the creek. Now, you're not supposed to block a creek. Y'all was talking about EPA and all that. It needs to be looked into. The guys that does the work down there, now when Stacy was over it and he done the work, you couldn't ask for nobody no better. He checked behind his workers to make sure they done their job. And I've never seen that center go down like it has been this time. When Annette was in there, she always had somebody come down, pressure wash the building, pressure wash the sidewalk. It's pitiful. It's pitiful. And that piano that's still sitting out there on the sidewalk, when you talked about it, it's still sitting there. So, the senior center needs some attention. It needs some attention, and it does need to be straightened out. It needs to go back like it was. Those people that come down there, they come down there to enjoy themselves. They don't come down there to listen to a lot of smack about other people. They don't come down there to see people get upset and pitch fits and accuse people of stuff. They don't come down there for that. Eloise Gass is a member down there now. All y'all know Eloise. She's not able to work flower beds anymore, but she's able to make it down there 4 days a week. So people like that, that's who enjoys that center. But they can't enjoy it if they come down there and they hear all this, It ain't no wonder that Rhonda's having the issues that she's having and Marcy's having the issues she's having. I've been going down there every day just to make sure everything is okay. And it's been keeping me awake at night. These people down there have health issues. They don't need to be going home worrying and wondering about what's going to happen at the center the next day. And that's all I got to say. My heart's in it, just like Rhonda's, like Marcy's. All we want to do is take care of the people down there and make it a better life for them. And y'all need to be thinking about that, because one day this could be y'all. It could be me. I can get around. I can drive. A lot of them can't. They depend on transportation to take them to and from, but when they get disrespected, that's a different story. And if y'all had any family down there, you would understand what I'm saying. That's the place for them to go, and sometimes some of the people, that's the only place that they do have to go. And they're having a meeting down there on the 10th. If y'all all are invited, it's about elder abuse. They're having a seminar, 9:45 on the 10th. Y'all welcome to come, listen, and see what elder abuse is. And I thank you.
Anybody else? Thank you.
Quick question. In the discussion earlier about the permitting process, it was mentioned several times that we're very low priced for permits. Was that mentioned several times to say there may be a future increase? Is there any plans for an increase on that price?
We haven't discussed an increase. We've been told, though, that we are one of the lowest, if not the lowest, in the region.
Okay. And as I mentioned a moment ago to some of you guys, the comment was made, if I apply for a permit, another citizen shouldn't have to share the burden of that cost. The permit should cover the cost. I would ask why that line of thinking is not applied to other things that we're talking about tonight, such as an animal shelter, or such as a road I don't use, you know. If you're saying you pay for your own way by your permit covering the cost of what service you're getting, if I didn't receive any service from an animal shelter, why should I be paying anything at all towards it? I would think that, and in these discussions tonight, just really quick, I'm gonna remember, every one of you up here, well, four out of 5 of you up here are elected as Republicans, and I believe from this county you were elected as conservatives. Keep conservatism in mind as you're making your decisions. That's what the people voted on. You know, I'm not saying you're wrong yet, but I'm saying keep that mindset in the forefront of what you're doing. Be good stewards of the money and look for value in everything you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right. At this time, I'll call upon each commissioner to make any point of personal privilege. Commissioner Pullen.
Actually, as far as I know, it's been kind of a quiet month in District 1, but, could I have the slides, please? There's a letter there from GDOT. I'd mentioned this, I think, one of the prior meetings, but I forgot to give y'all a letter or show it. But the bridge over the railroad at the Tennessee-Georgia state line on 24, it's all in the preliminary stages. I don't have any update about GDOT and I-24 with TDOT, but there are some problems with the bridge, and I don't know whether this is going to be addressed at that time or a different time. Highway 11 construction, at Squirreltown Bridge, they put in the main support beams, and that seems to be actually progressing pretty well. There's still activity on 59 with on and under the interstate. There's no active paving going on by the county in District 1. And next slide. The EMS totals, CHI continues to be the main provider of ambulance transport, and the monthly or the Dade County ambulance availability continues to wax and wane. It's being addressed. We're waiting on a grant, but sometimes we've got 4 ambulances, sometimes we've got 2. And at one point in time, within the last month, we had to get an ambulance from CHI to maintain 2 in the county. On fire, the Dade County Fire Department, Station 1 and 4, that's Trenton and North Dade, continues to have the bulk of the call. Davis is second. And law enforcement, I don't think there's no request in from law enforcement for new vehicles or anything. Things that seem to be rolling reasonably well with them. And then you heard from Chad Payne earlier about some things. Basically, I'm happy to say that's all I've got to say.
All right. Thank you, sir. Commissioner Hartline.
So I'm gonna start with electrical inspections. We had a total of 55 in the month of August. We had 19 homes that went into new homes, permanent power. But if you look down there, we talking about the permitting fees and stuff, there was 4 inspections that failed. So that means he's gotta go back out there, that's 4 more trips to go back out to do them inspections. That's at least 1 to 2 more trips to that particular place that failed that one inspection. So 35's, we're not even breaking even on that. But it does show that slowing has slowed down some. We've only had 1 new construction temporary put in last month. Go to the sports complex. You got soccer, football, and fall baseball going on right now. They've sprayed for ants on the fields. They come up with, when it gets dry, they start hunting water. Sprinkler systems come on, so they look for that. The Mason will be back down there at the park next week to lay block for the concession stand and storage building. And then in my district, we've paved, as we said earlier, Wells Road, Cloud Road, and they're out there on Wall Circle now paving it, which I'm very happy because that was under discussion last year whether we was gonna be able to do that or not for them people, and we were able to make it happen, so I'm proud of that. And that's all I have.
Commissioner Woods.
All right, first chart, please. Yeah, can you bring it, there you go. Let's talk about something that's really positive and not heavy at all. Cloudland Canyon Junior Ranger Camp. It is held in June, and I didn't do it in July, and then I was getting surgery in August, but I want to bring this up. The word will go out. They only bring in about 10 kids, but those 10 kids are there every day from 9 to 3, and they love every single minute of it. Right? They keep it a small amount because they have staff there and they spend time with the kids individually. And I got to give a huge shout out to Ranger Jerry Wallace, who works for Cloudland Canyon. Oh my gosh. Every day, I mean, he went above and beyond, right? The kids just loved it. So if you have children, right, and you hear about Cloudland Junior Ranger Camp, right, go for it. It's worth it, and I highly, highly recommend it. In fact, Caden, my son asked me the other day, hey, Papa, that camp I went to, I'm going to it again next summer, because he loved it, right? And it's a good thing. All right, next chart, please. All right, CDAC, okay, all right. Again, we're talking about the Trenton Dade Animal Center.
He's got good eyes.
This project was voted on and approved back in 2014. However, nothing was done until this year. And CDAC refers to both the building, right, and the services that are going to be provided. The buildings, the meetings are held on the Tuesdays, the first and third Tuesdays of the month. And the next one's going to be in here, right? I think it was on the 16th at 10 o'clock. Next chart, please. Here's some takeaways since the last county commission meeting. The intergovernmental agreement between the city and the county, you heard us talk about it before. But Dade County will provide the land for the animal center and will pay for the shell of the building that will be utilized. The city is going to pay for the interior of the shell and will control the management and daily operations of the place. And both parties have initially agreed to a 50-50 split of the operating cost, finances, and they will conduct reviews of these costs and adjust percentages as they need to be. Next chart, please. Now, when you say the cost associated with animal care, building maintenance, and of course utilities, the city's going to pay for any city employees that work there, and the county will pay for any county employees that work there. This agreement will be for a duration of 3 years. There's going to be an advisory board. If you didn't hear it earlier, I'll bring it up again. The board's going to have 7 individuals. 3 members will be from the city, and one of those 3 is going to be from the community. 3 members will be from the county, and one of those 3 will be from the community, and 1 member will likely be from the Friends of the Trenton Dade Animal Center, a 501(c)(3). But the mayor, right, and the county exec will be determining that 7th member. Okay. We're going to talk about the senior center here in just a minute. Bring it on up there, Caleb. Thank you. All right, you know where it is. It's down at the sports complex. All right, and And if you'd like to make contributions, they're always willing to take them down there. And they use them for a variety of different things. They use them to buy birthday cakes when they celebrate birthday celebrations and those kind of things. So if you're so inclined to donate, please do. Next chart. Fully concur with everything that Glenn said earlier. The senior center, and you've heard me say this month after month, it's a quality of life for those folks, right? It gives them a reason to get up every day. It gives them a reason to go down there knowing they're gonna have fellowship, right? And it helps change their outlook on life. As opposed to just sitting at their house, they have a reason to get up every day, and it's a good thing. There's good meals down there. We provide transportation, and there's also numerous shopping trips. Next chart, please. All right, there's a, click on it again to see if the other piece comes up. I don't know what, there you go. Last month, Marcy told me that they went to the Japanese restaurant in Fort O and had a good time there. I was there a few days ago, and of course, they're recognizing everybody's birthdays again, and they always have them listed. And they did about 1,400 meals collectively, right there in the last month. Now, Glenn has brought up some concerns within the senior center. There's some dynamics ongoing there, and we have been working to address some of them. The director has submitted a 2-week notice, and so Catoosa County and the like will be hiring them. Again, Dade County is directly responsible for the transportation portion of the senior center. We do not hire the director, right, or the other primary staff there. Non-transportation staff is what I guess I'll call them. Right, they're there, Catoosa County does that. Coosa Valley. Coosa Valley, yes, thank you. Are gonna be doing that, and I spoke to a guy on the Georgia level today just about that, to make sure that they knew about the resignation and stuff like that, and they're gonna start doing the hiring process. But the bottom line is this, is that the senior center has to be continued to be supported. It's a good place for folks, right, and it serves a very viable, right, contribution to Dade County. Okay? That's all I have.
Commissioner Bradford.
Well, I am short and do not have good news. I have reached out for glass recycle a couple times each week, have not received anything back, so I'm just as disappointed as everybody else. But I'm going to keep trying, and if this doesn't work out, then I'm going to try another route. But I figured I would give a few more emails to see if something will come through. So I've been pretty busy with everything going on, and that's short and simple.
Thank you very much. This has been a very busy month of meetings and public hearings. Have heard a lot. You can go ahead and put slides up as you want to, and try to keep up. Because we're all tired, and this is going to be pretty fast. A lot of people have reached out to the county commission about the public's Georgia Power. It seems like everybody's Georgia Power bill is higher. The rate, I don't know if the rates went up. I don't know, but we did receive word from the Georgia Public Service Commission. They just approved plans to freeze Georgia Power base rates at the current rate at least until 2028. Now, keep an eye on them and let the PSC know. I don't know. Georgia Power's base electricity rates are frozen through the end of 2028. And hopefully this will offer some customers some relief and some stability, because when your power bill, it's not like you have a choice, you got to pay your power bill. So we are sorry about that, but we have reached out to Georgia Power and the Southern Company and the Public Service Commission. So that's what they said. Digital display sign construction at the sports complex. This goes back to a grant we received 2 years ago. Finally getting that thing in the ground. The sign is here. You probably have seen some work going on by the entrance near the senior center, near the sign where the Head Start sign is located. And so that is going in. We're excited about that. That will not only display things about the upcoming meetings or sports complex, all the activities surrounding recreational ball, football, baseball, softball, whatever, but it will, soccer, but it will also include the announcements for the public transportation, as well as the senior center and such as that. So it should be a nice,
I was wondering why the construction was for, that's good.
yeah, so it's
Really good. Yeah.
it's completely paid for through a grant, and so we're proud of that. That is going up, and of course, it'll be eliminated. And I don't know if you noticed the new sign over by the courthouse today, but it will have this sign also will have a, what do you call it, thing that goes around that sign, because there's a theme we're trying to build throughout Dade County, and we'll hear a little bit more about that here shortly. We were awarded a grant through the Georgia Historical Records Advisory Council. It was only $4,500, but hey, we're gonna celebrate even $4,500. Something that we never received before, and Kathy Reagan, appreciate her efforts working with the historians through the court facility, the old courthouse over here, and the Historical Society. Funds made possible through the National Historical Publications and Records Commission. It will support local historical preservation by helping identify, protect, and provide access to the county's valuable historic records. And some of which they're just, beginning to buy shelving for the vault area, and so we're excited about that. Had, of course, the public hearing for the proposed elections building. We all appreciate, all commissioners appreciate everyone that came out for that. We do want to say a thank you again to the community for your input, and it did make a difference. Appreciate that. Had a special call meeting authorizing the tax collection of the school board. That happened last week, I think it was last week. And so the school's millage rate went from 14 mills down to 13.53 mills for the upcoming tax year. That's good news. Our millage rate hearings were also held, and as you know, the county did reduce the millage rate a quarter mil, so we'll be going from 7.75 to 7.5. And again, we reflect that based off the input from the community that came out for those meetings. We had our first Georgia Initiative for Community Housing, which is an acronym GICH, G-I-C-H meeting, a couple 3 weeks ago. And that was one of the things that we had to do in order to apply for GICH certification. As you recall, Trenton and Dade County have jointly gone in together to receive that GICH certification. Most counties that submit are not accepted the first year and nor allowed to even have an interview. We have been awarded a site visit by the GICH committee, which is through the Department of Community Affairs. And so they'll be coming here, I believe on the 11th, if I'm correct about that. No, it's later in the month, but we've got another meeting coming up here this coming week to prepare for that site visit, and we're producing some information about the history of GICH and different things about the housing team members, and so excited to announce that. Like I said, most counties never get the opportunity on the first year, the first go around, but again, I give Kathy Reagan some credit for that because she's been helping tremendously on that. Opening of the proposals for the certified contractors, as you know, happened last month. A lot of information there as we've proved tonight. Department of Economic Development served on a panel. The entire tourism board came up from all over the state of Georgia to Macklemore, and so I was asked to serve on that board or panel for discussion, and so it was the Northwest Georgia Economic Development and Tourism Board that came up, and so I was proud to represent the county for that. That is all I've got, and so we're going to move forward. Let's see, under appearances, we received certain reports from local entities, and so tonight we do have Ms. Sandy White, President and CEO of the Alliance for Dade, if you'll come forward.
Thank you for letting me share with you tonight.
Thank you. Good report. Just kidding.
All right, that was quick. Okay.
Little humor. Sorry. Go ahead.
Starting with the marketing reach, we continue to amplify Dade County's story. Facebook, we reached 328,024 people year-to-date, and 3,524 followers, 1,247,240 page views, with steady and meaningful growth that keeps our destination top of mind. On Instagram, we reached 63,726. We have 541 followers, 41,895 page views. This is another channel that we drive discovery. Our newest platform, TikTok, we launched the 30th of June, already tallies 867 likes, 353 followers, and over 10,000 post views, showing a strong early engagement of short-form video. Turning to the Welcome Center activity in August, we welcomed 104 residents, 123 visitors, and our team answered 94 calls. This is a strong increase from this time last year when we saw 58 residents, 68 visitors, and 65 calls.
I'm quite familiar with your old locations, having spent time there myself, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So this new location is working well for you?
Yes, very much so.
Good.
Yes. The numbers are a clear pulse of the interest growing for attractions, lodging, and experiences, so people want to find out more information about what we have available. And with that, along with that momentum, I'd like to report some important facility updates. In addition to our chamber work, tourism work, and welcoming visitors and fielding calls, our staff is now dedicating an additional 20 to 25 hours a week to venue rentals and building-related needs in the courthouse. While this is a significant time commitment, it's a very positive one, we feel like, because local residents are using the building more, and they're generally glad that it's open and accessible. We've had a lot of comments, positive comments about the building being open. So yeah, everybody is really enjoying using it. And this is exactly what we were hoping would happen, a vibrant hub for history, hospitality, hometown pride. So it's really, the people who have visited it are really enjoying it and really utilizing the facility. And the Historical Society provides volunteers on a regular basis too, so that's even adding on top of that. So it's really good. Looking at, next slide. We always show you business support and training opportunities, webinars and online courses. We have here the Small Business Development Center webinars, but then the next slide is now SCORE online courses. The Small Business Development Center webinars, some are free and some are low cost, but the SCORE ones are all free. So this is another opportunity we're providing that we hope residents and businesses will take advantage of, because there's some good information that's available to you at little or no cost. Okay. I am very excited to show you, this is the first installment of our wayfinding signage project that is all funded through tourism dollars, so there's no local tax dollars involved. This is the first installment. It is an information kiosk that is now on the east side of the historic courthouse lawn, and it has, on one side, it has directions for the Welcome Center and the Chamber of Commerce. On the other side, it has another directional thing at the bottom, but it also has a map that is changeable that basically has the businesses in the downtown district, so on the main stretch. So we're really excited about this. This is connected to the light posts, and so will come on at night, so it should be on right now and lit up. We're really excited about it, and it should be a nice showpiece for the community. Okay. Also, too, I want to highlight some community exciting features that would like to share. The Chattanooga Pulse spotlighted Steel Pioneer Fire Cooking Class, which is our new cooking class that's held up on Sand Mountain. This is cooking like a chef over open fire. It's exactly what we are looking at to entice visitors to come here. So this is another attraction that visitors can experience and love, and locals can do the same. It's a great opportunity for groups to get together and to all, learn how to cook a special meal. He's using local produce and local meats, so he's sourcing local there. So it's a really good opportunity to showcase the community. Then secondly, Rosie Mae's Alpaca Farm was featured in Chattanooga City Lifestyle Magazine, which is a great spotlight for our agritourism experiences that we have in the county, and it really boosts what Dade County's unique in our charm. So it's a great opportunity. Next, we are kicking off our first annual Autumn Splendor Decorating Spectacular Silent Auction. That's a big lot to say. It's a new fundraiser that we have started that is going on now through October 15th, and we're encouraging everybody to, they can go in the courthouse and see the displays there in the hallway, but you can also look online. You can bid online and bid in person for beautiful fall wreaths, centerpieces, and baskets. All proceeds go to supporting additional workforce development programs, and then a new leadership class that will start in the coming year. So please help us with this worthy cause and bid early and bid often. Next. Would like to celebrate a new business in town. Stone One Studios is a new fiber art studio here in Dade County. This addition strengthens our growing creative economy. We have a lot of artists here in the community. It offers hands-on learning, which again is another class type of thing that a visitor can or local can take an opportunity to do, and it enhances the vibrant arts and maker community that we have here that attracts a lot of visitors here. The happenings here really in the county showcase our agriculture, our creativity, and our new ideas, and it's a story that we love telling. So this is some of the upcoming events we've got going on. The second part of the Women's Hormone, workshop, and then we've got, that's on the 8th, and then on the 12th, we've got our next eat and greet breakfast meeting. Next. The Circle of Hope, their next meeting is September 16th. That's a new support group for widows that Moore Funeral Home is doing. We also have a drive-through flu shot clinic. There are several dates. The most closest one coming up is the 18th. Our next forklift training workshop is coming up on the 26th, and this is a picture of some of the success stories we've had so far with that workshop. That provides low-cost opportunity for people to get their certification, and they don't have to go out of town. So this is the type of thing that we're looking to hope to do more of with the fundraiser that we're doing with the fall wreaths. And then Star Party's coming up, one this Saturday on the 6th. The Edgewood Baptist Church is doing their Family Fun Night the first Friday of every month. And then also GNTC is offering trainings and courses. They're still free online courses for soft skills, so please take advantage of that. That's available to you for free. And then if you'd like to volunteer, the Friends of Clallan Canyon State Park are always looking for volunteers, so check out the QR code and volunteer. As we look ahead, we remain focused on promoting Dade County as a destination to live, work, visit, and learn. Our ongoing efforts through marketing, visitor engagement, business support, and community partnerships are making a measurable difference. In closing, I want to thank all the Commission for all you do for us, our board, investors, volunteers, and other community partners, because we can't do it without your support. And together we can build momentum that strengthens not only our economy, but the quality of life that we all enjoy. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sandy. Appreciate your presentation. Again, with the Alliance for Dade, Chamber of Commerce. Also, you may find online an online presentation by Mrs. Laura Beth Cunningham, 4-H and for UGA Extension, Dade County 4-H. Also an online presentation available by Mrs. Lydia Sosi, manager of the Dade County Public Library. Both those may be found online. This time, we'll take up financial matters. I will now ask Mrs. Rebecca Jones, CFO, to provide the county financial.
Okay, this first report here just shows our balances by department as of June 30th, incorporating that budget amendment that we approved earlier tonight. You can go to the next report. Okay, the first page you see here shows our account balances as of August 31st, 2025. The next two pages is the income statement as of July 31st, so our first month of the fiscal year. Revenues, year-to-date actuals were $967,957. Year-to-date budget was $799,753. So we were in excess of $168,204. Our expenses year-to-date actuals, $1,668,495. Our year-to-date budget, $1,670,371. So we were actually under budget by $1,876. The next 4 pages go over the lost and splosh trends since 2010. Lost received as of August 2025 was $266,058.96. Splosh received in August of 2025 was $332,573.44. The next several pages go over the 2015 and 2000 splosh detail. And then your last page is the year-to-date tax collections. The percentage collected as of July 31st, 2025, so the first of our fiscal year, was 2.22%. And that concludes the report.
Are there any questions pertaining to the report? If not, I'll entertain a motion. The financial report is presented by Mrs. Jones.
I'll make a motion to approve.
All right, we have a motion, I have a second.
I'll second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. I will now poll each commissioner and have their vote recorded. Dr. Swillen?
Yes.
Mr. Hartline?
Yes.
Mr. Woods?
Yes.
Mrs. Bradford?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. Motion is passed by unanimous vote. Under legal matters, Mr. Robin Rogers, our county attorney. Mr. Rogers, do we have any legal matters to discuss at the board meeting this evening?
Nothing to report, Mr. Chairman.
All right, is there any unfinished business to discuss or vote upon? Hearing none, under new business, the reading of the minutes of the last month's regular meeting and any special call meetings will not be required since all commissioners have been furnished copies in advance. The meetings are public record and available for review in the county commission office. The minutes are included in the consent agenda and will be considered for approval under new business. I'll now ask the county clerk to read aloud the items for consideration on the consent agenda, please.
Consent agenda, approval of the agenda. Approval of previous meeting minutes. Proclamation Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. Proclamation for Library Card Sign-Up Month. Proclamation for Adult Education and Literacy Week. Proclamation for Service Dog Month. Proclamation National Recovery Month. And Resolution R-36-25, appointment of Mr. Philip York to the Dade County Public Library Board of Trustees. Approval of Public Works 54-inch drum for $61,438. Approval of the Dade County Sheriff's Office request for 52-inch deck riding lawnmower for $7,461.33. Trenton Dade Animal Center building plans. Resolution R-32-25, international IGA agreement between Dade County and the City of Trenton for animal control services. The Community Forest Grant awarded for approval of the Department of Natural Resources Land and Water Conservation Fund project agreement. Election building construction project, the approval of Robert Roberts LLC contractor only for the election building. We are not approving the price, only the contractor. And the resolution of R-37-25, Amendment Number 1 to FY 2025 budget and other funds.
All right, is there any discussion regarding the items listed on the consent agenda as presented by the clerk? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented by Mrs. Knight.
Make a motion to approve as presented.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
I second it.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. I will now poll each commissioner to have their vote recorded. Dr. Pullen?
Yes.
Mr. Hartline?
Yes.
Mr. Woods?
Yes.
Mrs. Bradford? And the chair votes yes. The motion is passed by unanimous vote. There's no need to hold an executive session tonight, so I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second. All in favor? All right, we're adjourned.